I suppose I shall.
Yes, recap
Okay.
away.
Chicken sandwiches. Cool. Perfect. We started up again last time after we finished shopping in Clarkburg. And it was decided that we should reconvene at the Rangers Guild. Ixtras looks around on her way for a place where we all can stay. Oh, I'm sorry. With the party relatively finished with their shopping at the moment, it becomes time to reconvene. Ah, yes. Okay, so I am correct. Ixtras looked around while she was making her way there for a place where we can all stay and found an inexpensive location. And being the gracious sorceress that she is, paid for a room for us all because she's just that nice and totally not trying to get us in her debt. Minuet is following her around, so when she receives the keys, Minuet takes one and retreats to the room. That retreats to the room so he can take a whetstone to his weapons because Minuet has a lot of knives for some reason. And Darren just went straight to the ranger's office to check in on his assignment and gave the clerk a brief synopsis of the situation wherein the chest is alive and I picked up some companions that are obtaining a vessel to return to New Eden. And then he signs paperwork and lets the clerk know if his companions can buy to direct him to the nearest alchemy shop because he's going to continue shopping. Thankfully for the clerk, that's not necessary because Darren is accosted by Ix as soon as he leaves the office and is informed that we have rooms at an inn now. And we come back to Minuet sharpening his weapons and having fed his chicken, though the chicken is grumpy because it was fed cinnamon bun and wants cinnamon bun.
Yep.
Your own fault.
Yeah.
During the night, as is probably going to be tradition at some point, Ix is awakened by Dat going sneak, 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 and catches him trying to slink out to use the inn's kitchen. And then allows Dat to proceed on the condition he not use too much of the inn's food, limiting him to a plate of brownies worth of ingredients. It's also Ix who awakens first the next day, and to her chagrin, she finds Dat sleeping on a large plate with a lot of crumbs and only a few brownies. That's, well, are any of us really surprised, though?
Nope. And the important part is the fact that it was the biggest plate they had.
Yes, effectively a platter. So, I mean, Dat followed the rule. So Ix steals a brownie, heads down for breakfast, and finds a concerned staff member behind the bar. And apparently, Dat also made loaves of bread last night. And the staff says, well, today's breakfast will be French toast, I guess. Darren awakens next, dragging MS06 with him because the chest is having technical difficulties awakening again, which is fine. It just means that he can finish his assignment. And also obtains French toast and eggs, and they wait for Minuet to wake up. Hours pass, comes 8 a.m., then 8:30, then 9. And then Darren decides to go get his jacket to be presentable, and decides to go out and find transport to the location we need to get to. As Darren is heading up, he hears a loud "Bagar!" from Minuet's chicken as the kitsune awakens, startled by having a chicken on him and not in its cage. But Darren doesn't really particularly care, so he changes into presentable clothing and drags the living chest downstairs to wait for everybody else, since now everybody's awake. Once we're packed and ready, we follow Ix through Lurbank, which is the city in Clerkburg we are in. And we go to the West Banks, specifically, to obtain a jumper to get to the islet where the Cloud Chaser Company is located. It takes us a bit and costs us a little coin, but we have a way to get there at least. And it takes 3 hours to get there, which probably shouldn't be terribly surprising. And when we get there, we see there are at least 3 ships being built at the docks, and I'm going to speed this up in a second. Some supply company and furniture stores, basically places we can buy stuff for a ship that doesn't slide all over the place. And almost immediately upon disembarking, Minuet breaks off from everybody else to go get stuff. And he decides to collect what to normal people would seem to be random bits and bobs, including 5 pounds of brass and copper.
Each. I do. Hold on. Let me check my sheet.
That is supposed to be implied. You get 5 pounds of brass and 5 pounds of copper.
And 3 pounds of sailcloth. Which is a goddamn lot of sailcloth.
Meanwhile, Ix and Darren start searching for the Cloud Chaser ship right away, while Minuet does Minuet things. Which should be concerning, but how much trouble could he get in here? Remember this for later, folks, if you didn't actually see the last part. Well, Darren gets told by a local that we can find the Cloud Chaser Company on the northern part of the island, and it's relatively easy to get to. So we get there, after some traveling, and find an archway with some rather tall fencing made out of wood. The logo is well carved in the arch. You see a warehouse, a couple ships being built in dry dock, and a building labeled Main Office that also has speed lines like from the logo for words, because branding. We go to the main office, and there are a handful of desks, and the front desk is occupied by someone who is pretending to work. Not that Darren can blame him, because he knows the pain. When Darren pulls out the writ for the ship, the clerk goes to get the boss and seems disappointed. No commission for him today. A large man with a large beard, weathered from the sun and in a tank top and loose-fitting pants, comes back to speak with us. Ix's address presents the boss with a writ, much to the man's disgruntlement. When asked who is taking the lead, all present pointed to Ix, which basically amounted to Darren pointing to Ix. As it turns out, we aren't getting the largest or best available with the writ, but what's available with the writ is enough for us, and we are presented with some options. A Defender-class ship, the Cloud Chaser Classic, or a folktale-styled ship based on old world stories that was probably actually built because of the contract? But it's hard to say. And we're given the opportunity to look on the ships if we so choose, and we look at the folklore-style ship first. And it seems really nice. And Ix is pretty set on it, but Darren wants to check the other ships too. Just in case there's anything on them to sway his decision. Meanwhile, Minuet has gotten lost and went south instead of north when someone told him the way to go, and at this time is attempting to find his way back on the right track. Which he does, and ends up exhausting and exasperating himself when he begins a very long trek from one end of the islet to the other. Sad trombone noises.
Womp, womp, womp.
You beat me to it.
It should be no surprise, but Darren is not impressed by the other ships and decides to also vote for the old world style one. Dogmaster locks up the ships, brings Darren and Ix to the office to discuss engines since they've chosen their vessel. It is at that time that Minuet finally arrives at Cloud Chasers and asks for his companions, and as luck would have it, is immediately pointed to the main office, instead of booted out of the gate. While they wait in the office, Darren and Ix are offered beverages by the dockmaster and politely request tea over liquor. Minuet meets the front the derp on my part. I can't words today. How disappointing. I'm supposed to be a bard.
Oh no.
Minuet meets the front clerk and disappoints the guy again by letting him know he's looking for us. And gets directed to the boss's office, wherein Minuet trudges his way up and slumps into a chair, declaring that he is tired. During this time, Darren had left his familiar, the flying squirrel with Minuet, to look after him. And Darren now gets chittered at for the silliness that had occurred while Familiar was watching the fox. Unfortunately, I do not have Familiar telepathy yet. Sadness. Also, much to Minuet's chagrin, when the Dockmaster comes back, he knows what a fuckboy is and calls him that at first before introductions are made. With that silliness out of the way, the Dockmaster shows us our engine options, which is standard engine, a booster, a faster engine, which is a step-up model, a energy conservation model. We are also given an array of sail types to look at, such as standard, extra wide sails, more durable sails. Wow, I spelled that wrong. Lightweight sails, heavy duty sails, or custom sails. Thankfully, we have a contract for custom sails, so we don't need to worry about it. And I believe we also decided to go with the standard engine because we can't afford any of the other engines. They are expensive. But before we decided on sales, and before we sifted through our folder to know we had a contract for custom sales, we decided to wait and see if the Dockmaster could find an old world style mast that was supposedly built for our ship. Ix signs the necessary papers for now, and for intents and purposes, we have a ship, even if we have to wait for it. When Ix hands over the writ for signing, the Dockmaster tears it in half and trashes it, which is an appropriate response to that kind of old contract being fulfilled. And since we're waiting till at least 2 p.m., we have some time to kill. So, Minuet decides to start tinkering with the stuff he bought. Darren uses Scrivener's chant to copy our paperwork for the ship, just in case, so that each of us has a copy. And I think Ix is just lounging and being Ix.
Correct.
And while we take respite, Minuet mentions that we should look into the variable stack of contracts that we have in order to cash in on them. There is mild joking that maybe we should become debt collectors of some sort. Here's a hint, everyone. That's what this session is going to become.
Oh dear.
Cackles.
Fun times on the open. Nope, they're just shopping.
Yep. Cackles in bored ranger clerk. But while he thumbs through the contracts, Minuet notices a few of the names seem familiar from while he was wandering around the town, which means we can cash in on them now.
Yeah.
We have a couple. There is one for counters, stoves, and more, and that is a 3k gold worth contract. And don't worry, everybody, we got most of our shopping done beforehand. It was math.
A lot of math that I didn't have to do as DM. I'm okay with this.
Yes. One is a contract for bedding, bedroom supplies, etc. for 1k gold. One is for kitchenware, facilities, and other generic quote-unquote supplies for 1k. There is one for bathroom and toiletries, that is 500 gold. One is for custom sales. One is for 100 gold worth of fruit. One is for a quote-unquote James David Hannell for 100 gold, but no other details. And there's a few furniture contracts for 250 gold apiece, which we're only going to be cashing one of those today.
Oh, it occurs to me a thing with the betting stuff. Since I gather we're all pretty much going with Hammonds. Um, how about with the rest of that we just get materials?
Well, that
Because
depends.
cloth.
And also, if you check loot, the betting contract is just about fulfilled.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, we have about 63 gold worth left. And I don't know what kind of materials you could get. If you can think of something after the recap, go ahead.
Okay.
But for now, we wait until 2 p.m. Well, Darren and Nix get lunch, and Minuet is left to his devices, which, again, is increasingly becoming the bad choice. When we return, we see a large crane is active, pulling the old world style mast out of storage to get it placed on and attached to our ship. And it's a proper folding type of sail, it even has a crow's nest. However, to get it set up, it needs to go through all the decks for stability, but we're kind of fine with this, even though it's going to, mess with our space just a little bit, but it's fine. So long as none of us get enlarged person, we'll be okay. Though Darren casually mentions that the contracts are not technically the parties by default in the Dockmaster box, though Darren knows that he knows his way around a contract, and the Dockmaster then relents and is like, fine, whatever, grumbling about how he didn't have to actually honor that. Little does he know, Darren reads the fine print. He did have to honor it. Darren refuses to be cheated out of this.
He refuses to be cheated out of getting a bunch of free stuff.
Look, if he's going through the effort of carrying these contracts around, finding who they belong to, and also they shouldn't have done these contracts in the first place, so it's their own damn fault.
There's a
Also,
reason why these are illegal nowadays.
Correct. Also, they should not have worded them vaguely enough that the holder can be construed as the inheritor of the contract.
Also fully intentional.
So they can argue all they want. We are the owners of the contract. Minuet stammers, telling Darren how dangerous that one was, and Darren replies that we already have the paperwork done for the ship, and by implication notes that the Dockmaster won't want to be quote-unquote cheated alone. So as we go off to do our shopping by contract, Darren utilizes mending to make the contracts look fresh, just in case. Though it's expensive, there is a consensus we shall purchase a single-wheeled cannon with our collective funds, just so the ship has some firepower. And that is where we left off. I should find out how much cannonballs cost. I know that's actually somewhere. I'll look that up eventually.
Yeah, it is on there somewhere, I just don't remember where.
I'm not concerned about it right now.
But yeah, you guys had a day to kill. You guys went and, I believe, spent another night at the inn, correct?
I suppose, I think.
I don't believe we stayed at an inn here. We arrived here, and that was it.
Yeah. Okay.
It can be assumed that we spent another night at the inn, to be honest.
Well, it's a different place, though, from where the other inn was.
Oh. I don't know.
Unless we want to keep buying tickets to go back and forth.
I think that, seeing if there's an inn at the place that we're at would be a reasonable idea.
It's not a difficult task. You guys can definitely find an inn here. It's probably a little bit cheaper over here than it was on the main island anyways at a silver a night per person.
Huh. Nice.
The people who stay here are usually on a ship getting it repaired and then they leave.
Ah.
You know what I should do? I'll do that later. I'll fix the tables that way, because I didn't put up the hex grid yet. But yeah, you guys can spend the night for a silver per person.
Okay.
You'll have to pay for food individually. It's going to be soup tonight.
Soup.
Soup.
Okay, how much is soup?
It's cheap soup. It's only 5 copper.
Okay. So
It's not great
one,
soup, but it's
one
cheap soup.
silver and
All
5
these
copper.
small coin denominations.
Hey, that actually made my carried weight become a even number.
You should not be having your money in the carried section. You should do it carried with no weight.
Oh yeah, that's fair because the handy haversack. But I've got other stuff in the handy haversack.
I say that because it's money.
Oh. Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, fairly cheap. Fairly cheap night. Now, are you guys all crashing in one room doing the crew thing, or are you guys going to be getting separate rooms?
I mean, if everybody else is not upset with being in the room with a strange fox and a chicken, then yeah, sure, if they want to. But I think that that's the deciding factor, is if they want to.
Exodras will be getting her own room.
Okay then.
Darren doesn't mind. It cuts down on costs.
Oh, okay. Then, well, I already subtracted the silver for room, so yeah.
Alright, then the chicken that has become demanding of sweet things. Your night is fairly going to go past uneventful. Now the question is, Ixodras, you're keeping a hold of Dat, correct?
Correct.
Are you even caring if he sneaks out in the middle of the night?
No. Just
Okay.
making sure he knows the rules of just a single plate.
Still going with it even though he cheated.
I mean, Ixodras can admire the fact that, you know, he followed the rules, even if he wiggled around them a little bit. So,
He specifically asks, what if it's a bowl?
A barrel doesn't count as a bowl.
a bowl only counts if you're making something that requires a bowl.
Okay.
Like,
Oh no.
he's probably gonna make a giant mixing bowl or something. Just shrug. Not her problem.
You will have an uneventful night. When Ixodras wakes up, finds the noodle that half fits inside of a giant mixing bowl. It looks like it was a parfait, but it's been licked clean. The only reason why you know it's a parfait is because the poor guy is covered in yogurt.
Press the digitation to clean him up. It might take a couple casts.
No, it'll only take one. He is a small creature.
Into the bag he goes.
Flails when you pick him up for the few brief moments before he just kind of passes back out in the bag.
Oh.
Now, you guys have taken care of a lot of your shopping already on the side, which is good. I want to hear specifically your plan for the sale, though.
Oh, Minuet's going to see if he can get a cross-cut weave sail.
What does that do?
Here, let me link.
Sounds like
thing.
a blasted heavy one.
It's a marginally heavier than a normal sail. Here's a description thing that I found. Series of panels sewn parallel in the to the foot in a stacking pattern. Oh, and what it's referring to of the two is tri-radial is the other type.
You're basically getting Venetian blinds as a sail, if I'm reading this correctly.
Hold on. Copy image. Or open image in another tab. Okay. And then copy and then paste. It looks like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was... Oh, those. Here, can I... Is this a HTML link you gave me? Here, I can throw it up on stream, possibly. Can you copy link for me?
You should be able to click that because it is a link.
Copy message link. It takes me to a download. Let's see if it'll work. And no, it is a link. You're right. Nope, it's a Discord link, so I don't know if this will work or not. We'll find out. We'll find out very momentarily. Image. Nope. I'll just do slideshow, that's easy enough.
But yeah, it's multi-layered to some extent, and it has a tighter weave horizontally, I think, than tighter weave vertically than horizontally.
Yes. It will be slightly heavier than a normal one. It would require a special order, though, because that is a fancy type of sail. So you'd be looking at 2 or 3 days before they have it available, because they'll have to make it for your ship.
That's okay. We've got
yeah.
time to kill. Well, okay, we don't have all the time in the world to kill, because Minuet's parents are going to be mad if we miss the thing.
Right.
Speaking of missing the thing, you might.
Yeah.
Because you're getting things installed on the ships, so... That is a crossweave. For the stream. Because things that are going to need to be installed, you guys are going to have to do the smooth room that you guys wanted to do with the grout, the fire-resistant grout.
Yeah.
And the tile is going to need to be installed, as well as the kitchen and the furnishings that are going to be strapped down and weighted.
Not to mention the cooling and heating unit.
Yep, so what I need you guys to honestly do for me is take that pen tool, and I need you guys to start deciding where certain things are going, so that way when I get the 3D assets for them, which I have some of, only some, I can place them for you. You should be able to draw right on this, if I'm not mistaken. Yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna leave that to you two, because I have no idea of where things are going.
Well, let's see. Where is it?
And as far as I can attest, my ability to organize things in that manner is very, very low.
So, the big room belongs to Ix. The room next to it is Darren's. And we'll say that the 2 rooms lower on the ship belong to Minuet, because I'm going to assume one of those becomes the workspace.
Oh, you mean one of these or one of these?
No,
Or-
no, no.
or sorry,
on the same
one of-
floor. On the same floor.
Oh, okay.
That
you
way
guys
you're right
purchased a
across the
refrigeration
floor.
unit, correct?
Hmm?
You guys purchased a refrigeration unit, correct?
Yep.
Right.
A room cooler and a water heater.
Yep. So that's go ahead and place that where you want the room cooler to be, because that's the pantry right there. I'm just gonna
Okay.
use a lantern as its base. It works.
Is there any spot that would be more optimal, or is up against a wall just fine?
I would argue towards an inner wall. Right, yeah.
Okay.
We are going to want the heater because
That's a stove.
Oh, stove. Okay.
Do you want a heater?
Where's
Did you guys
the
get a room
kitchen?
heater? I thought you got a water heater.
Yeah, I thought we got a water heater.
Yeah, you're gonna need to place a water tank too.
Yeah.
Well, the water tank is going to be downstairs.
I would argue that maybe like
There, now you have a water heater. No, you guys got a water pump, not a water cooler, right? Why would you need a water cooler?
We got a cooling unit for storage, but we did get a water pump.
There's a water pump. Or no, that'll be a water tank. Let's make that a water tank. And I need to make it bigger.
Where would a good location for the pump
I
be?
would say like right behind the stairs, like in this general area.
The tank or the pump?
The tank. And then the pump right in front of it.
There you go.
Or okay, we could have it on the bottom deck, and just have it on the opposite side over here where there's no room thing.
The room is the bathroom.
Oh, in that case, behind the bathroom would be perfect, I guess.
Tank on heater.
Let's see, and then I need to add in a water pump. Do I have a pump device? I
So would the
think I
pump
do.
be better closer to the kitchen or to the bathroom?
I just realized I have a bloody water tower we could use as that. So we're just gonna call this the water... This will be the water... pump, sure. And I'll make this smaller. There you go.
Though, to be fair, having the water tank,
Whoops.
whoa,
I
shit.
got it. I forgot to lock the background, I'm sorry. There we go. Now it's locked. Now it shouldn't be able to... Why is it moving? My goodness, I locked you. Lock. There we go. Alright, let's try that again, huh?
Okay, so having the water tank and everything on one of the upper decks would be the better idea, because it would mean that it would be easier to get pressure to the lower decks.
Where the shower? Yeah, that makes sense. Do we
And
want
then
to
you
keep
could
the
literally
heater
just
behind
attach
the-
the water get or the rain catcher right on top of it.
That's true. So what we could do?
Is have
Uh,
it just inside the maybe the front of the hold.
That's the top deck.
Yeah, but the actual like
Oh, I see.
exposed part of the deck is here. It would be interior here.
Oh, I changed... Oh, here. I'm sorry, I swapped it around. Water tank, and that's the pump. There, now things are correctly labeled. I'm sorry. Where's your guys' list? I need that. Wasn't loot, right?
Correct.
Hashtag loot.
Should I reverse those positions, Vare, so that the tank is outside and the pump inside?
I don't think it makes a huge difference. And having the pump on the exterior so that you can get to it easy to work on it is the better thing.
Okay.
You got 10 cargo nets, so let's grab that. Because that I have.
Do we want the water
they're-
heater?
They're only 10 by 10, so it would be 2x2. So yeah.
Do we want the water heater closer to the bathroom, or do we want to keep it with everything else?
Well, we should have the bathroom, the water heater, and the kitchen all in kind of like the same general location, whether or not they're in different floors or not, so that it can be piped easily.
Well, the problem is using the hold like that is not easy.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a thought. We could have the room adjacent to mine be kind of the room for all this stuff. And then we could have the workroom be one of the lower rooms.
That's fine. Also means it's easier for you to get running water there.
Right. Because it would just be straight down to the bathroom. Oh, whoops.
There we go.
I know I have a desk in here. Where's the desk? You got 2 desks.
Correct.
I have some of these things, just not everything. Did I save a bathtub? No, I did not. But I got a fountain. I could probably... Nope, can't. That's not going to be the right kind of fountain. Alright, what else do I need to...
Okay, so
3 units of those.
Hey, Viv. Where do you want your desk in your office? Unless you want to stuff it in your own room and then just use the office for other things.
Let's see.
bless you.
Bless me.
It's
Thank
it's
you.
the room above yours and mine.
We're gonna use candles for the for the torches because they
There you go.
actually light up and it makes me happy.
Yes.
Desk is set.
I'm gonna have to
So-
fix its collision though, but that's fine.
So, for those of you watching here at the table, we did not buy regular torches because our ship is made of wood and flammable. So, the executive decision was made to get iron torches, and because technically those count as quote-unquote lamps for bedroom supplies, we could put it under the bedroom contract.
Okay. I'm gonna have to do fancy for those, but that's fine. I can take the candles later.
There's a dresser for each of you.
And I can
One,
fix
two,
those.
5, 6, 7.
I will have to fix those. I need how many chests? We need 3.
Oh no.
F key to flip. Three chests right there. For now, I don't have hammocks. Would cots work for placement of hammocks, or do you guys want actual hammock items that I can put up later?
Cots will be fine.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I
that's
intended to add cots to the bedroom contract, but whatever. Also, the hold is getting an extra torch because it's big.
You put in 10 hammocks.
Correct. Because the ship is large, and at some point we may acquire a crew, or we may have passengers, he is future-proof.
Let's see here. Crucible, bellows, and other things. I think I actually got a bellows for you. Hold on.
All that was supposed to be kind of consolidated in his engineering workbench.
Yep.
There we go.
But
Have a mini one.
Tiny forge. Which, yeah, that's the plan, is to be able to manufacture small parts for, like, engines.
I will fill that table later. Climber. Right, you got a bunch of beatons, hemp rope, alchemist lab. Do I get alchemist lab stuff? Yes, I do. I know I do. A lot of these assets are free in the market too, by the way. So if you guys do a lot of searching, you can find a lot of this nonsense. Here, I know I've got a shelf with a bunch of vials and stuff in here somewhere. Where is it?
Also, if
Oh, there
somehow
it
we
is.
can turn down the brightness on the candles, that would be great.
Unfortunately, I don't think I can. Because they're programmed. Here,
Aw.
have some alchemist stuff there, Vari. Here, let's see if we can change the brightness. What I'll do is once everything is placed, I will just go in and sync them. Because if you take the items, you lock them into place, and then you grab the move tool, I can literally go like this.
I'm trying to get that in the freaking corner, but
Allow me?
yeah. Oh, you're syncing it? Yeah. That's a cool thing.
Yeah, it's very useful. Come on, grab the right... There we go, come on. Problems with being colorblind. It's hard to see what you're doing there. Here, let me promote you, Vari, so you can do that too. And same with Car. So what you gotta do is you gotta lock it and then use the move tool.
Well, that's exactly where I wanted it anyways, so...
Yep, but there's other ones you can move. Oh, come on, don't you dare.
Yeah.
Finicky thing. I got it. You're good.
What just happened?
I have relocked the ship.
So the ship keeps on unlocking
It
itself.
earthquaked.
If you click L while mousing over the ship, it will unlock itself.
Yeah, you gotta make sure that you're doing it very carefully. Otherwise, it's finicky.
For help.
What's wrong with?
My ankles are very itchy,
Oh no.
and it's very irritating. Actually screaming.
Oh no.
I feel like Ix's room is going to be the biggest mess.
I mean, Ix has a lot of space, so she can do whatever she wants with it. You unlocked it again. Take care.
Fixed. I was trying to lock these things, but apparently I gotta do everything the hard way. That's fine. There. I'm gonna leave the mesh undone.
Oh, the cargo netting? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that unlocked. I will add more to your table later. For now, I'm just gonna go ahead and lock it all for now.
That's fine.
And I don't have things for the other stuff right now, so you guys will have to deal for the other things for now.
Also, what color is the furnace clay stuff that we got? The furnace grout. Yeah, the furnace grout.
The furnace grout, it's probably a dark gray.
Okay.
I mean,
In that
can
case-
always buy paint.
Yeah.
We can always prestidigitate it.
Yeah.
That is also true. You can definitely do that as well.
But a gray room is fine.
Once you're done placing things, if you right-click and unlock it, that would help significantly. Oh, one person's already on it. Good.
I even locked all the crates just in case.
Yeah, I'm leaving Ix's room alone. Till Ix tells me otherwise.
I mean, the only thing I don't think I really messed with anything in there.
Everything gets brought in and it just stays right where it sits.
Just, I'm just imagining somebody walks into the captain's room and is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Viv, you could, like, put your stuff where you want it.
I don't know where I want to put anything right now. Gosh darn it.
I have locked it for now, so you don't need to worry about it.
I'll think on it later and adjust it how I imagine she'd probably like it.
Oh, important thing, big bird cage.
Oh, right, I got a cage.
So are you keeping the chicken and nesting pens in your room, or are you keeping them in another room?
How big do you need it? 10 by 10?
Yeah, just, cover that corner that's, opposite of my bed.
Your room, right.
Wait, might... Oh, that's going to be a bit of a squeeze. Let's shrink it. Let's rotate it. And I'm going to change the proportions some because I can.
Oh, gonna make it shorter?
Yeah. There's no reason for it to be that tall. And I can also make it a little bit wider, like that. Then it'll just fall into place.
Perfect.
Sorry, that was bothering me.
Thanks.
I hate that I'm feeling so tired.
This is what you
Aw.
get for being up. Doing the weird sleeping habits.
I don't even know how these sleeping habits got started.
Well, first you stayed up really late.
Yeah.
That's like an every other day occurrence almost.
But let's see here. I think that's all I have items for right now. I'll have to revisit and add like make counters and stuff because the rest of the stuff is probably going to take me a hot minute.
So I realized the thing. That somewhat empty room that's beneath mine
Mm-hmm.
needs a treasure chest in it.
Oh. I'm gonna make him. Is that purple or pink? I don't remember what color that is.
It's pink.
Oh, okay. See if I can apply a tint to it. Cool. This is now him. For now. I keep on forgetting to make him a player piece, but he hasn't been around. Which, by the way, for anybody that actually has watched and actually cares, he is doing better. He is recovering. Are you guys actually going to just give him... Oh, you guys gave him a room, but forgot furniture for him. I mean, I guess he's a construct. Does he really need anything?
Exactly.
Creature comforts, but, you know, he's been kind of dormant, and also, well, we do have extra contracts for furnishings that we have not used.
Truth.
I mean, we could give him one of the cots. Actually, yes, because that would make it even.
Well, yeah. We might as well just stick it in the room, even though he's probably too heavy for it.
Alright, by the way, I need you guys to mark where you want the bathtub to be. Use the pen tool. Just draw right on the thing. Where you want the toilet to be. Well, the shower, I guess. You guys got a shower.
Screaming at that noise.
Oh, the ding.
This is why I turned down tabletop noises.
Yep, I have it off.
It's not that loud for me, but it's just an obnoxious temper.
What? Why is my pen tool enormous?
Because this is a really small map.
Eh.
That's huge! What the hell?
It's like 1/4 the size of the table grid.
Double eh.
Oh.
I mean, I ran out of space to, like, move things around comfortably, so I used a 4th model. I'm
I
sorry.
can barely make a square.
Just use dots, man. Dots should be fine.
Yeah, just dot it.
That is a dot. Here, hang on.
That's so funny.
Well, you can always... Okay, then add it on the file that I sent y'all later.
Okay.
We'll deal with that later. So, after you guys go on your big shopping trip, actually, I might take a short water break, and so should everybody else to get water.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And that one should get caffeine and water. Viv.
I've been drinking soda since I got up, and it's not working.
Okay.
Damn it.
We are going to be right back. We're going to go and get water and stuff. Y'all should get water too. Be healthy, peeps.
Meow.
Congratulatory screaming at Era.
Why congratulatory?
Because you made it back alive.
I did. I did not die in the process. So I'm going to
Exactly.
count this day off because you guys went ahead and did a bunch of shopping. A lot of this stuff will arrive same day because it's all on the same island that you guys are on. However, not all of it will. Some of it needs to be installed, and you get a time span between the tile and the bathtub and everything else of about 3 days where you guys can kill.
That would cover the sale also. Awesome.
Yep. I'm assuming you guys have already done all the math calculations and whatnot for everything else, correct?
I'm pretty sure. I would argue that anything spare we have on any of the contracts, we just get like materials and stuff.
All right. Make a side note of that, and next time Alex is about, we'll actually get him a room set up. But Exdrass is moving things.
Hooray!
Lock. I'm surprised you didn't go for like a big fancy bed or something.
What part of Ixodra's really likes hammocks did you miss the last time this came up?
Everybody else got a silk one too.
Oh, we did? Awesome.
Yeah, everyone got silk hammocks.
Yeah, we have that much money.
Comfy silk hammocks. Okay, I like hammocks, and this is translated over to Ixodras, and she's fancy, so she likes the fancy hammocks.
Hammocks are nice. I will admit that if I was given, well, I considered getting a hammock instead of a bed. But
If I had a silk hammock, I honestly don't think I'd ever fucking make it out of bed.
I used to have one of those love sacks way back in the day. It wasn't that long ago. Everybody slept on it. I almost never got to sit in it. Because my roommates would just literally crash out in it, like, all the time.
Damn.
I think I got to sleep on it, like, twice myself, too. It was amazing. But, you guys have some time to kill. So, is there anything you want to do with 3 days?
I want to investigate James David Hannah.
Probably a good idea.
Fantastic. You have a couple of different methods of going about it. Unfortunately, you guys are not in an island that has a library available to you. You'd have to go back to Lurebank. Elsewise, you can roll knowledge, local, or diplomacy to go ahead and do a gather information for me.
Both of those are the same for me. I'll probably do diplomacy because... Oh, right, I'm flip.
I could do a knowledge local. Mine's a little better than my diplomacy.
You are all free to roll.
That is a total of...
Only a 12? No, 13. No, 12.
14 on diplomacy for me.
22 knowledge local.
Alright.
Alright, so we got the big one. Now, where did I put the name of everything? James David Hannell. It is something that two of you struggle very, very heavily with trying to get an answer to initially. It is Vari that is going to come up with the answer of Gambling Hannell. Gambling Hannell was a notable gambling man who placed bets on feats of capability that sometimes he very drastically failed on. He was kind of a goodness gracious. What are the circus performers called that do that? An acrobat? He's been known to do a lot of ridiculous things for money, however, including slight levels of piracy and the like. Last they heard of him, he went down to the Kahaki Islands. The Kahaki Islands.
Okay.
Supposedly he got a big score, but nobody knows the actual answer to it.
Okay. Well, Minuet will, after asking around and finding this out, will relay the information to the group. But note that, yeah, Eden first, because, my dad will kill me if we don't show up at some point.
I mean, that was the intention.
Yeah.
Anything else that you guys would like to attempt to do?
Minuet will, once it's installed, spend at least a day, familiarizing himself with the engine.
That is not a bad plan.
I'm going to go collect our cannon.
You're spending 5,000 on the wheeled cannon, correct?
Correct. Which, by the way, I guess Ix and Minuet are just gonna come back to me hauling this freaking cannon because beef covered.
Ixidras is going to at least attempt to help you with the cannon.
Insert dragonkin laughter here.
Look, I at least have average strength, so I can help a little bit. It's at the very least not negative.
That's true.
I did manage to avoid any actual negatives.
Also, yeah, Era, where is, Minuet's town?
You get to mark that now.
Cool. I'm thinking it's going to be more inland than some places.
Use your pen.
Okay. Yeah. How about like right around there somewhere?
That works. Let's make it a little bit bigger. There we go. That should be good. If you want to name it, you may add the name now.
Well, it's Ionia, but
You get the. You know how to use the text tool?
not exactly.
You just click on the text. You click somewhere on the table where it'll fit.
Text.
Or you can just tell it to me and I can do it for you if you want.
Oh yeah, here. Then I'm pretty sure we've.
IONIA?
Yeah.
Got it. Now everybody gets to watch me struggle as a colorblind person to actually nail this color right. I think I got it. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, that works.
Well, you guys got 2 more days to kill. Was there anything more you wanted to do with those 2 days before shipping off and whatnot? I know that you're inspecting the engine for at least a day. Are you doing it for both days?
I'll I'll probably do engine one day, and then controls and rigging the next day, and then probably the third day I'll uh relax, tinker, and pet chicken.
Pat the chicken, pat the chicken.
Ixodras is going to amuse herself in once the kitchen and everything is set up. Then she's going to pull Dat out of her pack and be like, surprise.
Things
Well,
that you
that
suddenly
would-
realize you have in your pack the moment you pull Dad out. Several blankets that you didn't know you owned. A captain's hat you did not know you owned. Dad is currently wearing it. He is asleep. A bunch of fake gems that are absolutely worthless that you didn't know you owned. A small pile of rocks you did not know you owned. A little rope doll that kind of looks like that you didn't know you owned.
Wow.
I feel like we should have gotten another chest just so Dat has like an adorable little sleeping hiding place.
Oh, he just hides, he just opens a cupboard and goes, "This one is my bedroom." Shoves all the soft stuff on it, lays on it, and closes it. This one's mine now. Shh, it's full of ancient draconic secrets. You're not allowed in here. Slaps a sign on that says ancient draconic secrets, then shuts the door again.
Okay then.
This little fucking noodle.
You also find 2 cookbooks that you didn't know you had. Both of them have cookbook crossed out and says ancient draconic secrets on them now.
Of course they do.
Minuet at some point is like, "Hey, Dad, will you teach me ancient draconic secrets? I mean, cooking."
I can teach you to cook, but I cannot teach you ancient draconic secrets. Those require ancient draconic bloodlines that you squints don't have. I think.
Damn.
Something,
Okay.
something. Ixodras has one of those.
Do you want to learn how to cook?
Maybe later.
I suppose I can learn how to cook, because at least one of us should know how to in moderation.
Fantastic. Then first thing we're going to teach you is the Song of Timing. Do you know the Song of Timing?
No.
Do you know how to still your heart into a very particular rhythm?
He takes a second to consider this. Yes, but only one particular kind of rhythm, and it's called near death.
This is going to require training. Because egg timers are garbage. They're always off by a few seconds.
Darren just shrugs and looks at Minuet. What? If I need to fake my death.
Oh.
Also,
Okay.
some of the things down there do track you by heartbeat, so try to stay calm if we ever go in the mist.
Well, you don't necessarily need to almost die. You just need to learn the song and learn how to control your heartbeat. Because your heartbeat is how we time ancient draconic secrets.
Wait. Is it literally a song?
Yes. You want to hear the song?
Minuet pulls out his Bawu.
He pulls out little finger cymbals,
Oh no.
puts himself proper. Hope it'd help if I put these things on right. And starts doing that in perfect synchronization while doing a little dance. It says, "This is the Song of Timing. You must learn it. You must memorize it. Otherwise, you'll never be good at cooking. Because I said so. And this is how it works."
Minuet just kind of stares. With, like, half of a smirk. His head kind of tilted.
A proper Draconic heart beats exactly 90 times per minute. Mainly because we have 6-chamber hearts. And if it's any more or less, you're not doing it right.
I mean, what if you're running?
You're not supposed to be running while cooking.
But
Cooking is an art form. You take your time and you keep yourself nice and calm.
but what if the bread's burning?
Then you didn't do the song right.
Let's say then you fucked up to begin with.
Damn.
Even Isfermet knows this.
Okay.
Or Isfermet, Ixodras.
Points directly at Ixodras. See? Ancient Draconic Bloodline says truth speaking things.
Okay.
And tell me you guys got a triangle in here. Do you guys got a triangle? How else am I supposed to announce it's time for food?
Darren just reaches into one of the lower cupboards by the stove and slowly pulls out a triangle.
Laughs hysterically, beats on it very rapidly for about 30 seconds and goes, yes. This is an appropriate triangle. A little bit small. It's bigger than he is. He could fit through it. But it'll do.
You are only permitted to use this in order to 1. Wake us up if it's an emergency, and 2. If it's time for food.
No, this isn't the emergency symbols. God.
Look, if your emergency symbols get confiscated for some reason, this is a backup. And he sets the triangle down on the counter.
He immediately hangs it. Delicately hangs it.
Oh yeah, weren't we going to get a signboard?
I have a chalkboard with chalk that Dat may use until we get him a signboard.
Okay.
Dad immediately writes food on it and hangs it up on the wall. He looks proud of himself for a few moments and goes, I'm going back to sleep. If you guys actually need me for anything, I'll be in the cupboard. I mean my bedroom. I got a bedroom. You're really not going to sell me, right?
No.
Why would we do that?
Because, never mind. Ancient Draconic Secrets goes into his room.
Seriously, we let you run off with half the budget for this stuff, and I'm personally quite impressed. Why would we sell you after that?
I don't know, because I have good tastes.
Had good taste, we wouldn't sell you, we'd keep you. Which was the whole idea to begin with. We have our own little rope dragon chef. Who the fuck else has one of those?
Probably my cousin. I think he's still here. I haven't spoken to him in a while. Maybe I should call him. Did you guys get a phone?
No, those are expensive.
Damn.
Well, maybe if I had actually gotten the rank I was supposed to, I would have a sending stone you could borrow. But no! Grumble, grumble. Shuffles off towards his room. I'm going to go lay down now because I'm angry.
Well, we steal one or something, I guess, since we can't afford one.
If you do, don't tell me what you've done or how you did it.
Deal.
Okay.
Ooh, do I hear a heist?
The great sending stone theft.
I mean, you guys could get a terminal, which is basically a phone. It uses a little magic, or use one of the mana crystals for your ship, but it lasts for about 18 hours of talking.
Woo.
They're normally 10,000 gold.
Woo. Definitely gonna need to yoink one of those at some point, because spending 10,000 gold on that is a big ass meh.
But also, about them cannonballs and gunpowder.
Aye, sir. Did
Are
not
you
find
going
it?
to make us some ammunition?
I can't do that. I don't. I might be able to with engineering, but
Well, I
Um,
know a gunslinger has their specialized gunsmithing ability, which lets them, with craft alchemy, make black powder and ammunition at a tenth of the cost. But I don't think you have the same benefit.
nope. And I don't have alchemy. I've got engineering at the moment, though. I'm planning on picking up a point of alchemy at some point.
Yeah, so with alchemy and all that, you'd be able to make the gunpowder at a quarter of the price. The metal balls are just metal balls. I'm pretty sure you just flat buy those.
Yeah.
Did you find the prices for all that, by the way, Kai? Key?
For the cannonballs, no, I have been busy trying to keep up with notes and things. I'm sorry.
No, it's
Oh.
fine. We'll look for those later, I guess. It's not overly important, I think.
Not yet, at least.
Not particularly, and however much it costs, because it doesn't actually cost terribly much for the cannonballs, we can just take it out of our own funds.
Yeah, because here's cannon. Where's the... Oh, an actual siege cannon. It does even more damage. Dang, man. 66. You guys remember to go ahead and note down that you got the ones that do 2d6, though.
Isn't it
Yeah.
3d6?
Is it 3d6?
Yes, it is the standard cannons that do 4d6, wheel cannons do 3d6.
Then go ahead and do the 3d6. Because I apparently already made that ruling, I thought. I did this?
I already have it in the shipping book.
This is why notes are important, because DM is stupid sometimes.
Also, isn't the terminal like 5,000 GP? We can't really afford that.
Is there what?
Isn't the terminal like 3 to 5,000 GP? We can't really afford that.
No, it was 10,000.
Oh, right, it's even more expensive, but also it has no range limit, so...
This is like third party rules from what I'm seeing, but there is a siege engine cannon and a ship's cannon, and they both it's 10 GP for a single cannon load.
That sounds about right, honestly. I'm looking at it up. There's also bombs that you can load into there, but they're 600 gold apiece. I don't think you guys want to pay that.
No,
But 10
not-
GP
not
does
right
sound
at the
correct to me, from what I remember.
Okay.
So we'll make it that for now.
Okay.
So grab as many shots as you guys want to have on board for your journey.
How many can we afford, Kai?
If you will look on the Lunar Nimbus sheet, we have about 2k or so that's available. We will probably not need that many cannonballs, mind you, but
If we need more than about 10, really, we're in a bad situation.
we're in a bad situation and we've been running for a long time.
Actually, I would go with like maybe 15 just to make sure. But yeah.
That's fine. That's only 150. So give me a minute to finish this note about Ix and Minuet contemplating stealing a sending stone of some kind.
And here I thought that the oh yeah. Okay. Also, you did note down where Mr. James David Handel or whatever.
Yes, it is in the notes.
Okay.
I will also be making a note about that in the server somewhere, so we can pin it.
Okay.
Or like a table I can write on.
Let's see here. So 15. So do we prefer our personal ammunition under inventory with the rest of like the generic equipment, or do we want it under armory, like where we would keep, say, spare armor, swords, etc.?
I don't know. Whatever you want to put it in. As long as it's noted somewhere that we've got 15 cannonballs.
Okie doke. That leaves us with 2,135 GP. I would say we also need to get rations, but like we have 100 GP worth of fruit, which we can specify what we've gotten later.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a stockpile of rations, too.
Correct, but we can do shopping later.
I mean, when we are done with our 3 days, we can go. So I think having, like, just, maybe 100 rations on hand would be a good thing.
Do you remember how much rations are?
I can pull that up real quick.
I was about to say, I think they're 5 silver apiece.
Yeah, for the good ones. Of course, Dad would be so damn upset if I got Wander Meal.
Probably.
Which is to say, we might get some Wander Meal. Yeah, rations, fuck, it doesn't list there. Okay, rations trail 5 SP.
You want 100 of them?
Though, what we could do is we could get travel cake mix, since we have, water to actually make them with.
Okay. How much of it?
It's 1 SP a pound for travel cake mix.
A pound of travel cake mix makes so many pancakes.
I know, right?
Alright,
100 pounds.
are you sure that won't spoil?
I mean, it's travel cake mix. It's, especially if we put it in the cool room.
Okay, so that's 10 GP.
Just a whole barrel of travel cake mix.
It can last a year at room temperature.
100 pounds should last us a year if we eat it every day.
I hope y'all like pancakes.
Yeah? Oh, hey, are we the pancake group and the others is the waffle group?
Apparently.
I'm down.
Pancakes
I'm
versus
down with
waffles. I hate to
Yes.
say it, I like
Oh my
waffles
gosh.
better than pancakes.
Oh my gosh. We're
What?
the international ship of pancakes.
Fucking...
Duh.
You're fired, guy.
I'm going to bed.
Oh,
Just Ixodress is done.
You just hear Ixodras in the or down in the basement. I am no longer captain. Fuck y'all. Fuck
No.
this.
Something ancient draconic secrets floats away. Just no more fucking, no more cat sorcerer. She noped out.
You know you done fucked up when the captain just walks off the edge of the ship done with your shit.
Anyways, yeah, do we want some trail rations to go with it, though, just to...
As an emergency and as a sort of shared thing if we need to go out for any reason.
Yeah, so, like... 30 of them or something, maybe?
100 would be. So let's get 50 because that's 125 GP, I believe.
No, it would be... No, that's, it would be a lot less than that. It's, because it's half of a GP per,
Oh no, I'm thinking of SP.
it would be 25 GP. For 50.
Okay, so 200 would be 100 GP.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get 200.
Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah, Darren's not going to let any of us starve.
Yeah. Okay. That addresses that then, I suppose.
You'd be surprised how quickly a ship can run through rations. Also, are Ix and Minuet actually going to steal the sending stone from someone?
I don't think so.
I just realized this whole time I've not been giving credit to the musicians that did the music, so I gotta turn that on really quick.
Oh dear.
Oh man, I was hoping you guys would do a heist. I would have to throw a heist then.
Not yet. We would fail so bad.
So let's see. If we took a straight path, it would take roughly 4.5 days to get to Ionia.
Well, also bear in mind that when you're within the scope of the islands like you are now, you have to follow the speed limit, so you're gonna have to go around.
Yeah, so it's gonna be longer. It's gonna be about 5, maybe 6 days.
Probably 6.
Which isn't terribly bad considering the distance. Especially considering the amount of traveling that the other group ended up having to do, making an entire loop in about a month.
I mean, that was your all's choice, man. I do need our navigator to draw your route, though. Now, bear in mind, if you're within one of the cluster areas, by these small islands, you got a speed limit of only 5 knots, so it's probably going to take you about half a day to a day to get out of the range. If you pass by smaller islands, it will increase that time.
Well, Vari decides the route. Can you tell me how much HP and AC our ship has?
The AC of your ship is going to be 16. And this is a sturdy built ship, so believe it or not, it has 300.
Oh, well that means that every 100 HP I have to notify you because things happen. Wonderful, that's even. I like that.
Yep. It is made out of a very sturdy material.
Okay, so here's an important question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Tuning Fork Pass, wouldn't it be a faster slingshot?
No, because it only technically doubles your speed for the time, or for about a day.
Aww.
So you would literally have to take the long route to take the short route. On top of that, you'd have to fly over the Godfall craters, and flying over those is dangerous.
Well, that depends on if we go left and around. which I suppose that would be indeed attempting to use the tuning fork pass, because we would probably end up flying over the Golfo craters, follow the curve of the Thule Mountains, and into the tuning fork pass, which really does us no good when we can just head to the right near Kahakai.
Yeah,
Bear
I'm
in mind,
thinking
you would
that,
have to also go over the Godfall craters to save any amount of time, and that's dangerous. Because those craters cause wind issues.
I'll say they're
Okay.
named Godfall craters. They're probably not something you want to deal with.
If I remember correctly, this is probably something that Darren would know offhand. Those used to be islands.
No.
They... No?
Nope. The islands
Oh.
that fell happened to Galerith. It was a island that fell. The
Oh.
Godfall craters, nobody knows why they named them that. If Darren wants more information, he can roll a knowledge nature or a knowledge geography. Anybody can roll a knowledge geography.
Well then,
So that's probably knowledge nature, because that's more specific. They're both the same though. It's 26.
You've been told about these. There are deadlands where explorers are forbidden from going. Once you crest the crater edges and go into it, nothing lives. Many explorers have gone in there and disappeared, never to come out. It takes even the best explorers to find their bodies, days and careful precision to be able to do so. Flying over them is extremely difficult because the craters are so blasted deep that they cause wind issues above, so you can't just simply take a flying ship over them, or your airships over them, and going in them is certain doom. Nobody knows what's actually at the center of these craters because nobody has come back alive to tell the tale.
probably something terrible.
Terrible and or fantastic, nobody knows.
Ixodras is just going to go with her gut instinct of it's probably fucking terrible and not worth going anywhere near.
Okay, so we're thinking straight shot, just
Yes.
through this way and up and over. Okay, so
No point in trying to be fucking fancy about it.
So you guys are looking at about 5 to 6 days of travel here.
Okay.
And you're probably gonna dock there. Okay. So this ship does require 2 people at any given time to pilot. You can travel up to 18 hours a day. Does anybody else have any piloting skills?
I do.
I am going to take this opportunity of 5 days of travel time to get either Darren or Minuet to help Ixodras get her first point in Profession Sailor.
oh dear. In that case, Darren, do you want to take the helm and I'll do the other stuff and or tending to the engine and the chicken and such?
Oh, sorry. I get 3 skill points per level.
Darren
Yes,
just-
you do. That's why I put in skill training, because this is a skillsy game.
Darren just sighs. Yeah, I'll take the helm.
Thanks.
Better me than you. You're a little short for it. I can just reach over her shoulders and stop her from steering us into a mountain.
That's fair. Yeah, so, I'm gonna spend the 5 days, working on engineering things then.
Alright, what are you engineering specifically? I need to know.
Oh, well,
Or are you just generally maintaining stuff?
yeah, just generally maintaining things and tinkering with bits and bobs. But also, before we take off, though, you think maybe we ought to, would it be okay if I maybe, like, picked up some stuff for, like, a, sorry I'm late type gift, maybe, for the family? because I don't want Dad to be mad.
That is entirely up to you.
Um. Hmm.
Specifically, you know you have time because Dad is not on the ship immediately. You don't know when he returns, you don't know when he left. You know he's back because there's suddenly several wine bottles on one of the table, specifically 4, and an empty one, labeled "Break Me. It's tradition. What's wrong with you?"
Okay.
Oh, I know what to do with this. Darren is going to grab the bottle, run outside, and then chuck it at the hull of the ship.
You break a bottle on the chip. It looked empty. It actually had white wine in it.
Just pumps his fist in the air. Yes! Okay, that's another thing checked off my list.
Okay.
Do you want to grab your parents a present? Or the family a
Darren.
present?
Yeah, Darren, you're good at ideas like this. What would be a good thing to get them? I've got ceremonial tea that I was gonna bring them, but that's just a little bit.
Well, what do they need?
I mean,
Looks at Mary, looks at Minuet. We could bring them more chickens. He shrugs.
no, that's absolutely not. There's so many chickens there. Hmm.
Well, we could bring them chickens, just not living chickens.
No, because most of them are from there.
Hmm. Well, I forget. Do they all play the bawu, or is it just the one you have?
No, there's everybody plays various instruments and stuff. Some of them sing.
Okay, so new strings is out of the question.
Mom plays a string instrument, so
Well, we could get some new strings for her. Does your dad still have the giant bird?
yes, probably, hopefully.
Cool, we can get some adjustable barding.
Okay.
Strings for what kind of instrument?
I think it's the one that we were talking about that one time, Aaron.
Oh, the Quan?
I think so.
Yeah, those are going to be expensive strings. Very expensive. It's going to cost a gold and a half for medium. You can
Okay.
That's fine.
You can literally get them in masterwork.
Is Masterwork just double the price and make it 3?
No, it's plus 100.
Oh, right.
I mean, I don't have that kind of money, so
Well, we do have that kind of money. It's just in our chest.
yeah. But
I think just a nice new set of strings will be fine. If you feel the need to make it any better, you have tools on the ship.
yeah, but I'm not good with string instruments anyways, so I'd be afraid I'd fuck it up. So yeah, I guess just regular.
Gold and a half. Barding will cost 3 gold. Because you know it has to be specialty.
I'm going to go with 2 sets of strings then to make it a even 6 gold.
Okay. Well, it's a gold and a half for the strings. 3 for the barding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Got it. Yep, go for it.
yeah, so 2 sets of strings, 1 barding, 6 gold total.
Fantastic. So to do the driving bit, I'm going to need whoever's driving to roll their first driving to not crash the ship upon leaving the thing. By the way, the chalkboard says turkey in giant letters. You might want to be worried.
Wait, I don't remember us getting any turkey.
I think that's the point.
Oh no. Minuet goes to check on Mary.
Mary's there.
Okay, good.
I'm pretty sure Dat knows the difference between chicken and turkey.
Fair.
Also, I believe Dat understands that if Mary is harmed in any way, you probably will show him no mercy.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Darren, I think you're up for the initial pulling us out of port.
Okay.
Don't crash. Your D20 is like halfway across the table right now.
I was gonna say, you're asking the wrong person that. 21.
No, you're absolutely fine. You get to pull out nice and smooth. And now is where we begin our 5-day travel. Darren, you are teaching Ixodras how to drive, correct? Or how to pilot?
Correct.
Fantastic. Every roll you make, you need to make it in -2.
That is fine by me. Give me a second to catch up with notes if you don't mind.
Now, out of curiosity, hey Vari, did you purchase you guys yourselves a flag, or did you just go with the normal sailing stuff for flags?
Normal sailing stuff. We didn't get a flag that I'm aware of.
Okay, just making double sure.
Though, I could make one.
You could. Here, let me get Tesla out really quickly. I see you there, honey. Come on. You want to say hello to a bunch of random people on the internet? Whoa, honey. That just freaked her out. Never mind.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
I picked her up half a dozen times. Apparently, she did not expect that.
Aww.
Oh well. It's because I didn't pet her first. She freaked out.
Aww.
No Tesla for the viewers.
Not tonight, anyway.
Nah, she'll come out later.
Anyways, yeah, so we don't have any special colors yet.
Okay, just normal stuff. Got it. Just the normal warning flags. Feed you again, but you're a fatty already. Oh, you're back out already. Do you want to come out? I know I scared the shit out of you, but come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. By the way, let me know when you roll.
Okay. One of you may need to look over the notes later so I can add things
Okay.
in case I have missed anything important. Okay, roll number 1.
Woo.
Total?
24.
24? Right.
-2, so 22, sorry.
Alright.
So, I could do some engineering to try to speed us up a little bit.
You are welcome to do so if you'd like.
Darren, would you like?
I don't want us to suddenly crash.
I appreciate your vote of confidence.
I'm teaching someone how to drive a ship for the first time.
Okay.
I understand your capabilities are multifaceted, but you are not at the helm.
Okay.
When you're at the helm, you can make that decision. And I can figure out how to make the engine do the thing. Also, if you boost the ship and it burns out the core for some reason, we're dead in the water.
Fair.
Or dead in the clouds.
Okay, I'll just continue tinkering then.
Thank you. Okay, fix address. You build it just like this. Wait, no!
X.
Squinting at it.
Okay, so you see those levers? You don't pull those levers unless you need to make a really sharp turn.
What was your second roll? I'm sorry.
Oh, second roll.
Still pretty good.
Wow.
24, because that's 26 minus 2.
All right.
Apparently Darren's doing a good job, and only panicking a little bit.
Roll your third.
Never mind. That's 9.
And you're keeping it?
Briefly double checking my abilities. You know what? No, I'm not going to keep it.
Okay.
That's 10.
Not great. You're going to end up off course, but you're going to not be completely off course. You're going to I need... Hey, Vari.
Hi.
I need you to roll a navigation for your navigation check at night.
Okay, cool. Shit. Well, that's a 13.
Oh boy. Not quite a success, unfortunately. So you think you're on course, so I'm going to need next day's roll.
I suppose I'll do my reroll if that's,
You can if you'd like.
Yep. Flipping my reroll.
By the way,
Oh, that's much better. That's much better. That's a 19.
you're going to have to reroute. You
Okay.
are off course. On a side note, on night 1, that does actually legitimately serve a turkey with all the fixings. And wine.
Wow. Thank you.
Where in the world did the
Darren's going to just hold up a hand slowly and gently press it to Minuet's face. I don't want to know the why, the how, or the who. Because then I might need to do something. Or I'm going to laugh. When I
fell off a ship. I was there to catch it. Looks proud of himself.
slowly removes hand from Minuet's face.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, fell off a ship. Ancient draconic secrets of couching turkeys out of the air.
Huh.
I
That's
also made a
strange.
cake because we got so much cake mix. So much cake mix.
How much of the cake mix did you use?
4 cups.
Okay, so it's not going to be dense. You had me worried for a second.
You guys could not stomach the amount of cake. That cake mix could work. Even I might struggle with that. Might. I could probably do it, but might. Squint. Might.
Do I need to be prepared for a lot of extra rope around?
Are you calling me fat?
I'm saying that if you ate that much, you would be a very big piece of rope.
But I'm not rope. I just look like rope. You're not gonna use me as rope, are you?
No, that's silly.
Squint.
Alright, so I gather I'm going to have to re-roll the navigation to rechart.
Nope, you can rechart.
Okay, cool.
Your success allows you to rechart and not think you're on the current route.
Okay. Cool. In that case, I suppose just... Rather, yeah.
Actually, question, where's
Yeah,
the
the-
port
shit,
that'll
the-
get us to Ionia?
You're gonna have to find a place to dock no matter what, so it depends on where you really want to dock. You're going to be dealing with sparse docking issues, but you or technically him can roll to discern where to land once you get close.
Okay.
Crap, how do I fix my line? Because I didn't mean to... Yeah,
Just
Okay,
redraw it.
okay. Okay, like so... Like so.
Alright. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do the roll, please, for the next day.
That'll be 16.
Got it. We got a success in our hands. This is day 4 now, or day 3?
This should be day 4.
Day 4. Yeah, you
Okay,
went
so
on
we're-
course, I'm sorry.
We're gonna be a day late. Which means that I might get 7 days worth of engineering practice.
Yeah, practice is slow though.
Yeah, so it's gonna suck after the first rank of anything.
That'll be 18 for the next.
We have ourselves a success. This is day 5. That means you've spent at least 40 hours training by now. Ixodras, you get to add your first rank.
Oh boy.
Because you've spent more than 40 hours within a week.
That means I now have a foreign sailor in total. Because class bonus.
Alright. Is somebody going to take over now?
Minuet still wants to do engineering because 7 days worth and he'll have an extra point.
What's your engineering rank at?
1.
1 times...
Oh, it's
2
I
weeks.
thought it was per training. Okay. Never mind then.
Yep. So anybody can roll. Doesn't matter who. Nope, it's rank times 40 hours, and you can only do 40 hours in a week of training.
And it actually adds to the rank?
Yeah, I'll have to reread the rules I wrote out, but self-training is difficult and the longest of them. Did I even write that
Okay.
out? Actually?
I don't think you wrote out self-training particularly, but I haven't seen the rules recently.
Let me look.
Also, I'll keep piloting the ship.
Purchase a book, seek out somebody to train you, spend days focusing and practicing the skill. The time takes 7 days times new skill rank. These can be split up and dedicated. So technically it'd be 7 days time new skill rank, so that'd be 14 days to get to rank.
Okay. Okay.
But you can catalog those 7 days.
Okay.
That's a total of 14. Boy, I'm glad I took over.
Is that at your with the -2 or without the -2 since he's got the rank now?
Without the -2, I am taking over.
Okay. Remind me to re-clarify the rules. Okay, 14. You are going to be very slightly off course, so I need a navigation roll.
Okay. Gonna do the navigator thing. Okay, that is a 20.
Yeah, you know that you're off course and you're heading once again to the wrong part of the island. This would be a great time for you guys to sit down in the office and have a discussion about where you want to park, because you know there aren't very many in New Eden.
Okay. Wonderful, I've gotten us off course again.
Yeah, so Minuet proposes getting as close to Ionia as possible, and then docking.
I can agree to that, but it depends on if there's actually any docks over there. Let's look at a map, shall we? Should I knowledge geography?
Knowledge geography or knowledge local will both work in this particular case.
Okay, gonna roll knowledge local.
17.
9.
I have officially marked with little teeny tiny dots you're going to have to scroll in on where the known docks are that you guys remember. Mainly, not Minuet.
Minuet doesn't remember you.
Minuet just goes, docking? Squints. I don't ever remember any of this. It's been so long since I've been home, unlike somebody else.
Oh yeah, Darren actually has a freaking job.
Yeah, Darren has a
place.
job.
Not that he hasn't tried to leave. He's just been stuck here. Forgot.
Now, bear in mind that there's also ranging costs, so the question is, do you guys want to go for cheap docking, average price docking, which will have some level of security, or expensive docking with high level of security? You have no security, mid-range security, or high security.
I suppose mid-range security would be sufficient, and the fact that we have Chest Friendo and Durgan Friendo that probably are gonna hang around on the boat, maybe, unless Dat wants to come along. Hey, Dat, you want to come along?
To where?
The place where there's lots of birds.
Are they edible birds?
If you pay for them.
What's
Well,
pay?
some of them. If you compensate them with gold, they will give you chickens or whatever else. There's like pheasants and other stuff too. Yeah, gold for food.
Does this count as does this count as gold? He holds up a absolutely worthless shiny rock.
No.
This should be worth at least 30,000 bazillion gold. And then he slams the door shut and goes, "Your people suck."
Darren
Fucking
just
bipedals
slowly
not understanding
covers
what
his
shiny
mouth.
means.
Darren just slowly covers his mouth to hide his smile.
I can feel that. I can sense in the ancient draconic field of you being a jerk.
I have said nothing.
It's shiny, therefore it's valuable.
It is shiny and therefore it is attractive to those of our blood.
He opens the door just to squint at you. Our blood is best blood. And shuts it.
Well, I never denied that.
Good. Stop smirking at me. I was gonna
Goes
make
back to covering his mouth with his hand as much as he can.
shortcakes tonight.
Oh, but I like those.
No more smiling. Not at my expense. Go smile at the kitty. Or the fox. Or the chicken.
Why the chicken? Wait,
Because the
why
chicken
not?
eats smiles too. Everybody deserves a little love. God.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Servette.
I assumed you smiled at your own damn pet.
Just overly dramatic gasp. How dare you?
Assume that you smile and show kindness and caring as a ranger?
No, how dare you call Servette a pet?
Is he not?
It's not the same principle.
You bipedals are weird.
To be fair, bipedals think those of your biological stature are weird too.
No, you guys kill us, but that's a different story entirely. Then again, I have 4 pets right now. 5? How many pets do
What?
I have?
Where?
He opens it just enough to give you a look, and then he shuts the door again. I have claimed you.
Derek-
You belong to me.
Darren just gets this look on his face and then looks at everybody else and is like, wait, what? Did Dad just say we're his pets?
Hey, Viv, you awake? Uh-oh.
Hmm?
Viv?
Hmm?
Oh, you are awake. Okay.
Exodrash is simply debating if she just wants to press the digitation dat into being bright pink.
Ah, yes, the vindictiveness of being a caster. So which of the docks are mid-level security out of the selection?
Middle-level security is going to be the one to the south, and the one to the west, specifically.
How about the central one?
Low level.
South and
You
west.
have one high security dock. It is kept on the eastern side. You're not entirely sure because it doesn't make sense, but then again, they're charging more for it, so... Eh,
How much are they charging?
a gold a day.
Woo.
Alright, so none of our options are looking particularly great. The closest dock has low security, and while we do have MS-06 aboard and Dat, assuming he doesn't stow away in Nix's pack, we would still be gone for, well, a while.
Bear in mind, it's... How many... Hold on, I'm gonna have to do math again.
It's... Assuming we don't get some sort of transport, it's going to be at least a day to get to Ionia. Because walking and flying are very different things.
Yeah, about a day and a half.
Oof.
Because... How many... Hold on, let me do the calculations, because I actually have a freaking thing to measure with now. Holy goodness.
And let's just say this ship was a massive investment. For all intents and purposes, the monetary wealth that went into this ship and all those contracts being lost would suck.
Yeah.
Admittedly, it puts us back to square one where we started, but I mean,
It would actually
I've been
take
on
you...
it a week, and I don't want to lose it.
You guys travel roughly 60 miles walking a day. So if you guys straight up walk, you can go about 0.7 inches.
Which means in a day from the western port, we could get there by walk.
Hmm.
So the easiest option is the dock here, on the southern end of the island. Unfortunately, this is also the farthest from Ionia, and we would probably pay the most docking cost because of the travel time. If we can't get any transport, which also costs money, I may remind you, it'll take us roughly 2.5 days walking.
Yep.
Or we can go around, fly to the dock on the western end, and get there within a day.
My vote's for the western end.
Yeah.
It will be no security, so...
Oh, no security? I thought.
I
You
thought
said
that
Oh yes,
Central
you're right.
was-
I'm sorry. Brain to the dumb.
Yeah, it's low security on this one, high security on that one, low security on this one, no security on that one.
Yep.
we could go to the dock that has little to no security and be there in about the same time and not have to fly as much, but I'm not going to say the dock is seedy, but I also would like to have some security for the ship.
Though, I imagine Chestfriend would enjoy if somebody tried to sneak in and do shit.
Darren levels a look at the small kitsune. Let me rephrase that. While I harbor no thought that it may be taken by pirates, I do not want to risk the ship.
Okay. Well, actually, if we've got the funds for it, we could do high security.
The high security one is further away. Not to mention it costs about $1 per day docked. We
It
have
is the
funds, don't get me
expensive
wrong, but I would rather save those for an emergency or necessary costs. Sorry, Minuet, you're talking to a clerk.
Yeah. Well, whatever you think would work then.
So it doesn't necessarily matter because Ixitras made the decision and we made her captain.
Captain made the decision.
The west side is what, mid security?
Yep.
Yep, that works.
All right. Go ahead and plot your course. Bear in mind, you're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to measure the schnitt. Where you are. Hold up, I need that measurement. Yeah, you can make it there in 2 more days. You're gonna have to go around the islands and obey some speed limits, but you're gonna have to do it. So let's do this really quickly. Let's take a short break so that way people can get water and stuff like that. I also need to step away for a moment anyways.
Okay.
And we will all be right back, okay? There we go. All right. Go ahead and plot your course. I've already got it pre-measured out.
Okay.
Now, due to speed limits and the stuff like this will take you an additional 2 days. So I need to know who's piloting and who's rolling the last few pilot checks.
I'm piloting.
Yup.
All right, roll your checks, man.
That's 20 for the first one.
Fantastic. Let me make sure I got this right here because we got 4.5, which will put you there in speed limit range, which will half your time. Did I say half or quarter?
Half.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
And 18 for the second one.
Fantastic. Now, who wants to dock for the first time?
I mean, Menu, I
So-
could give it a go.
I was gonna say, Darren looks over to Minuet as like, so if for some reason one of your relatives is at this dock, do you want to be the one that claims to have piloted this thing?
Of course.
Let's him have the what stands nearby.
Okay.
I'm going to
Roll
aim.
away.
Okay. Okay, so that is a profession sailor of 21.
And I am aiding with a roll of 25.
I thought your profession sailor was a 6.
Yeah, I rolled a 15.
Thought you rolled an 18.
No, I rolled.
Oh,
the
it's Kai's day. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I am aiding him with a roll of 25.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic. You are able to dock smoothly. You are quoted a price of 5 silver a day upon docking by
Okay.
one of the attendants, who asks if you need any additional security or if you're going to be having any cargo loaded or unloaded.
Well, aside from some minor things going to Ionia, not really so much unloaded, but we might have some stuff coming back, maybe.
That's okay. If you need a loading dock, just let us know. Give us at least 12 hours notice. That way we may clear the dock and make sure you're on the schedule. Otherwise, you guys enjoy your time in New Eden.
We
Well,
How many days are you planning on staying?
We're going to need at least 2 days for travel, under the assumption that there is not any sort of transport that we can readily take.
when is the well, actually it's probably past at this point, but when is the festival?
Which festival?
The one that we that I got a letter about.
3 days ago.
Damn.
You kind of took a very large detour, man.
Yep.
not that not that we had much of a choice.
Nope. But have fun.
Yep.
Okay, so the question is, how long do we want to stay with Minuet's family, and how long do we want to stay with Darren's family?
Oh dear.
Figure it for a day each.
Okay, so we're here 4 days, which comes to 2 gold.
$4 days?
Yes.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Wait, are we gonna go see who I think we're gonna go see?
Who do you
The-
think we're gonna go see?
She's got a nickname.
Oh,
She's
Grandma?
got it.
Yeah, she'll probably be there unless she's keeled over.
Grandma's got
Oh.
a first name. It's AXE.
It's A and X and D.
Well, technically BATTLE. Grandma's got a second name. It's AXE.
Yep.
Something, something, something old.
I
We don't
I
remember
don't
the
get
rest.
I don't get the reference.
Her nickname is That Old Battle Axe.
Ah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Go ahead and deduct 2 gold from the expenses, and we will start travel time.
All right.
Now, inland is a little bit of a different situation, and this is the first time we've ever visited this between both games, because the other game has never gone inland ever.
We mostly stay in ports and fly around.
Yep. So, unlike before, does anybody have knowledge geography or knowledge local?
Yep.
I have knowledge local.
I
I
have
need that
geography.
instead of a flying check. The DC is only 10.
Cool. Shit.
Wow.
That's an 8.
You guys
I've already-
mentioned doing travel. Did you want to
that is
pause?
11 for knowledge geography.
So the question is, do you want to pause and do travel? Do you want to try and hire a carriage?
I mean, we have already figured for a day's worth of walking in the costs. So unless one of the others wants to get a carriage or something, which should take us significantly less time, Darren
Yeah,
is fine huffing it.
Yeah, Minuet's like, I don't remember shit about this path.
I haven't been here in what is it? Fuck! It's almost been a month now, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's a little bit less than me.
Oh, I've been out of the office for a month.
Imagine all the paperwork.
That they have to have done, otherwise I'm going to be very unhappy. And there's a reason I keep my hammer at my desk.
Oh dear. Anyways, we could hire a carriage or something though. It's if you know where we're going, that's fine then.
Only a day in that direction. Or do you want me to cast no direction, since you seem so apprehensive?
I mean, it's been a while since I've been here, so whatever works.
Darren sighs, sags his shoulders, covers his eyes with one hand, points directly out with another, and then says, "There once was a man from Nantucket," and then spins in place and points toward Ivan. That is literally how no direction works. His incantation is just weird.
Oh, that's hilarious.
By the way, to travel the distance, I did the math, it'd be 450 copper. 4.5 gold.
I'm good
Yeah,
walking.
we can hoof it. We can hoof it.
Okay. So you got the first day done.
Yep.
The nice part is that you guys did not fail your roll, thankfully, and aren't going to run into the weird things that happen to be on the island sometimes. The no-go
Oh, dear.
zones. I need day 2.
Let's see if Minuet remembers anything about this locale.
But wait a minute. Shouldn't it just be a day of travel, considering the distance?
No, it's two. It would be one day from the
I see.
from the other dock.
Yep. You got about a day and a half here. Or just over a day.
I thought we could get 0.7 distance.
You can, but measure it from the dock to the center.
Oh, I need to be closer. Oh, and to the center, I see. Which is about 0.8, so okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I've got measurements. They make me happy.
Just like the math rocks go clickety clack. That'll be 16 knowledge geography. Thank you.
Yep, you guys are gonna be fine. You're not gonna run into any of the weird things that are out here. If you want to hear some lore, I can definitely dump some lore on you guys, though.
Sure.
Unfortunately, since you guys are a winterized area and relatively unpopulated compared to the other islands, there is known little pockets of beasts that are of unknown origin. Whether or not they're from the miasma and the poison gas below are absolutely a mystery. However, you know that if you travel into the wrong areas, it can be a problem. Thankfully enough, you guys did not roll low enough to have that issue. Since there are 2 people from this, it is the dangers of inland and away from the cities, and why the cities are overpopulated.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to come into the town. You know very well that there's less than 300 to 500 people living here in specific. The buildings look exactly the same as they used to. It's still a little bit on the colder end, no matter the fact of the year, which I believe it's actually winter right now. Which reminds me, hey, Ix.
Yes.
I need to know, do you have any sort of cold weather gear?
I believe I might actually just have cold resistance.
Oh, right, you do.
Yes, I have cold resistance.
Then you're perfectly fine walking in your fancy-ass dress along this thing, while the others are wearing warmer gear, which I know they have.
I'm just wearing my silk ceremonial armor or whatever it is. Just like, yep, this is fun. This is nice.
You're perfectly content.
Yeah, Minuet, on the other hand, has on 3 layers of clothes.
Remind me that when you guys get back that there are no blankets in the ship at all.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
that makes
that's
sense.
gonna steal them all.
Damn it.
Yeah,
By the way, I bought these just for this gag. You better appreciate it.
I do. Like, hearing them is going to trigger us, and it's like, oh no, what's Dad doing this time?
The worst part is, it spikes my microphone, so I have to hold them all the way over here. Did not cause a problem. Either rate, you walk into the town. You're very much familiar with the town itself. Even Minuet is going to be able to recall this town fairly specifically. After all, there's only so many people, and you know them all by name. They all wave, but they look at the cat person that is curious. This town is primarily populated by kitsune folk. Very few outliers in this particular case. There's a couple of families that are outliers, including your own, Darren.
Yup.
I need to know where you're heading first.
Minuets, because, well, if he's there later than sooner, it's only going to be worse.
Right.
On a side note, do you guys want to up the days because it was going to take you longer to get here than you expected?
I mean, can't they just charge us extra if we arrive late?
Yes, they will definitely charge you extra.
Okay, so if we arrive late, we arrive late.
Okay. Alright.
I mean, Box Friend and Dragon might be able to. Well, at least Box Friend. Maybe. Though that would be a weird thing to have happen, but. Yeah.
You also have to stop by the local chapter, which technically isn't in this town. You're going to have to do it on your way out.
Which
It
is
is-
fine.
But you guys show up at Minuet's house. It is the normal look. You can definitely tell that there's a bunch of chickens out back. And when I say a bunch, I mean a ridiculous quantity.
Gobble,
Not a
gobble,
small family.
gobble sounds.
Bark, 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 bark.
Yeah.
You're
Okay,
at the house.
so, Minuet's gonna walk up and knock on the door.
It's one of those things where you feel like there was not enough time between you knocking and the door opening for the door to open. Would you like to describe your father yourself, please?
I didn't actually even really think of that. I just thought of his demeanor more than his actual appearance. So you're more than welcome to actually dictate that a little bit if you'd like.
Fantastic. We got a true Arctic fox here. He's a little bit on the medium end, so he's just a tad bit taller than you are. He has slightly gray fur, which obviously shows his age. He's got that look in his eyes that is a man that it's 100% business. Slightly shorter tail, black tip on the end. Completely white elsewise.
Mm-hmm.
I had to look at your character to come up with this. He looks down slightly and goes, I hope you have an excuse, and I'm sure you do. Come in. Ooh. Hi, Darren. Who's that?
Yeah, we've got stories. Also, hi, Dad.
Hi, son. Get in here. Take off the boots. Do not drag snow in here because your mother will throw a fit. And I will have to listen. Your siblings
okay.
are out back if you want to say hi.
Okay. Well, they, Minuet, pulls off shoes and such, and, yeah. And enters.
Ixodras will follow Minuet's lead on the rules of the house as they were.
He will stop you very specifically and say, my name is Dersh, and he'll offer his hand.
Ixodras will shake his hand firmly.
He'll nod. He goes, my son can do something right. To himself.
Wait, Dad, wait.
I never said you were dating. I said you had a good choice in friends.
Oh.
Why, are you
Ixodras-
actually interested in her?
Ixodras looks smugly amused.
Darren gives an exasperated sigh and rolls his head and eyes in one motion, hands on his hips.
He
Jeez,
salutes
you're
you.
having an affair already.
Yeah, maybe. He will properly salute you in the proper Ranger fashion. He does expect it back and he holds it until you do.
Darren is quick to assume the salute.
He'll motion you guys in. Your mother's in the kitchen. Go say hello to her. Siblings are in the back. You know the drill.
Dad,
Yes.
sorry about missing the thing, but, I have a present. And Minuet pulls a whole saddle out of his handy haversack.
He raises his eyebrow very slowly and goes, should I question how you got this?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
He gives that sigh of something's up here, but just takes the saddle and goes, I do appreciate it. Mine was getting worn anyways. And he'll literally just set it on the end table right next to the door.
Anyways, I mentioned we do have stories. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go say hi to Mom. So
Yeah, go on. Go on, you.
And Minuet approaches the kitchen.
Slowly or quickly?
Quickly.
You make it 3 steps in the kitchen, your mom turns around and goes, oh dear! And hugs you and picks you up. Bearing in mind she is slightly shorter than you are.
Squeaking fox sounds.
She has the more classic fox appeal to her. She still has a lightly gray furred appeal, but she has the black ears, black tip, black paws thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
She squeezes you a little too hard.
Mom, I can't breathe.
Sets you down and goes, I know, but honey, you're my son. You're supposed to be a little bit tougher than this. And she gives you a little shove. And then she smiles. She goes, "We're having chicken noodle soup for dinner. I hope you brought Mary. She's probably
I
missed
do.
her friends."
Actually, Minuet gestures to the top of his carrier backpack.
"Oh, good, you didn't ruin it. Come here, you." And then she literally takes her chicken. And starts walking up back. And goes, "Okay, Mary, you're going to go and play with the other chickens and the siblings and everything." And just tosses her out the back door.
Minuet just kind of does the look back and forth, and then shrugs. And is like, anyways, yeah, sorry, Mom, I didn't make it to the thing. We kind of have had a adventure, to say the least.
"I have heard enough from your father. I'm not worried about it. It's okay. It's okay. Things happen in life. Things happen in life."
No, I mean, we were on the boat here, and, mutiny and stuff. And we ended up in, Clarksburg.
You hear your dad in the background go, "Mutiny? Well, that's par for the course for this world." So he walks in and he just sits down. And he waves everybody else in.
Yeah, actually, comfortable place for us to tell the story may be a good idea. Because it's a long story.
He rolls his eyes and he goes, "Dearie," and she goes, "Let me guess, you want a drink?" And he goes, "Yes, please." She goes, "You know," and he goes, "Yes, I know, my heart, yes."
Oh, speaking of drinks, here, Mom, I was gonna bring this, but then I also brought other stuff. Here, Minuet pulls out 5 bags of ceremonial tea.
She goes, "Ooh, you're having tea tonight, honey," and he goes, "No, please, 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 let me just have my drink." She goes, "Fine, fine. We're having tea in the morning." He goes, "Tea in the morning sounds fantastic, dear." And she'll store it all away, and she'll be like, "Does anybody else need a drink?" "Oh, hi." She moves right up to Ix, and she goes, "You're a cutie. Are you a friend, or are you actually, did my son actually do something?"
Just a
She's bouncing a little bit.
Oh.
No offense, ma'am, but unfortunately, I don't think Ix is interested in either of us.
She goes, "Dang. Well, that's fine. He'll find somebody eventually. Your name is..."
Ixadrass.
"Oh, good. I'm Minnie. I believe is how it's pronounced, right?"
Or Min.
"Hi, I'm Min. And, did my husband introduce himself?" "He didn't introduce himself, did he?"
He
She
did.
gives him a look. "He did? Okay. Anything to drink, you two?" "Darren!" And then she glomps you. And she squeezes a little bit too tight.
Oh.
"I hope you've been taking care of my son. I know he can be a little misguided sometimes." And then she sets you down.
The word I was thinking of was mischievous.
But
We don't use that word in this family because if we use that word, it gets us in trouble.
Darren returns the hug very lightly because, well, if he squeezed her, that could be bad. Hello to you too, man. And I've been doing my best. Though the one time I tried to provide him some aid, he gave me the change back.
She gets that look in her eye, that you're in trouble look, and then it gets directed right over at Minuet, who's now getting the mother's disapproval look.
and ears folded back in concern.
But that was several months ago when I last met him. I met him again recently during the whole fiasco with the...
Right!
Years.
Drinks. What kind of drinks would you two like? We
Oh yeah,
we have beer, we have some nice wines here right now. And by nice, I mean I made it myself, so it's going to be nice. Because I said so. And, well, we got tea now. Well, I've got some extra tea from before, but Not quite the fancy stuff my son brought me, which I'm gonna show this off to all the people in the town. Looks smug.
Actually, mom, there's another thing. I got you some of these, and pulls out replacement string sets.
She takes them immediately and she goes, "Great, we're pulling out the good wine today." And the husband goes, "But aren't we?" And she goes, "Nope, we're pulling out the good wine tonight. These are nice strings and I need more strings."
2 sets.
So you will now
Considering you made
serve.
the wine yourself, I suppose I'll have some.
She marches off to the basement, comes back up with a bottle, and Dirge looks just, okay, this is happening. And he stands up, gets handed a cup. She goes, "Let's let your mother cook. She's happy, and you will all get handed a cup of wine whether you like it or not."
The Exodress is fine with this.
It's average quality. It's not expensive stuff. And he'll motion you guys to the living room. He'll sit down in his armchair. There'll be a couple of couches there.
Anyways, how things have been going here? How'd the festival go?
You know how it is. And they all want us on the stage. They all want a performance. They pay us something, I guess. And you hear your mother from the other room go, "They pay us more than we deserve, dear." And he rolls his eyes. Get a chicken to dance, and never mind. It was okay. We were really hoping to have your Bawu there. I know that it's strange, and you've managed to play part of it, but it would have been really great for the festival. I'm a little disappointed, to be honest.
Yeah, actually, how about now that we've got a place to sit and talk, how about we, begin with the story? Yeah, so, we were stranded on, what was that waypoint, Darren?
Give me 2 seconds to
Like waypoint 6 something.
Waypoint 61.
Yeah, it's, right near Tuning Fork Pass.
That place is a trash hole.
Agreed.
But, yeah, we were stranded there, after getting mutinied, and then, yeah, the ship we were on had a lot more people than it should have, and, I'm pretty sure they were smuggling something, and, yeah.
Did you buy
But anyways,
budget tickets?
Huh?
Did you buy budget tickets?
yeah, I kind of didn't have a whole lot of money then.
Why didn't you write us back?
I didn't think about it, I was just gonna show up.
He gives that fatherly sigh. "Look, son, I know I can be harsh on you sometimes and stuff, but if you need help..."
Darren just raises a hand. Trust me, I've tried. Also,
And
I mean,
I think we'll be okay now. Just once you've heard the story.
Well, when I say... You're gonna have to
Well-
learn to accept help sooner or later in your life.
We
We're not
have a whole ship.
You have a what now?
We have a ship.
You... Hold. Oh, okay. Did you steal a ship?
No, it wasn't stolen.
Are you sure it wasn't stolen? Because...
It was not stolen.
Okay,
Darren opens his scroll case tail
for-
bag,
For
and
the normal definition of stolen, really.
Darren opens his scroll case tail bag and pulls out his copy of the paperwork and holds it out to Dirge. Everything is above board.
You're... Minuet. What have you
Yeah,
gotten yourself into?
I lockpicked a chest that turned out to be alive, kind of. And
Okay, we can stop right there. I've had enough of that kind of nonsense in my life. You got the chest from where?
Darren.
Darren had it, but he was going to carry it back to the home office. And
Again, Darren just raises his hand and sort of shrugs a little. Yeah, I was sent out of the office to go retrieve an object that was found during an expedition, and
Okay, we got enough information, don't care. He stands up, he goes, alright. I need another glass of wine. Who needs another glass of wine?
Darren just holds up his cup, which is still full and untouched.
He looks at it and he goes,
Ixodress holds up her empty cup.
he'll take the empty cup, he'll look at the full cup and be like, Darren, your family, says my wife, drink it.
Oh, I know. I'm just offering this to you for a more immediate solution.
No, I've got this. You just enjoy the wine. Minuet, you full?
Minuet's has only got like a couple sips out of it so far.
Alright. No more of this nonsense about chest found who knows where by rangers, na. And he just walks out the room, na.
Wow, we didn't even get to the part where the chest is a person. And Darren just puts back the wine.
He'll come back in and he'll hand Ixodras a full cup, and he'll sit down himself and be like, well, that's an excuse. Dinner will be ready in about 10 minutes. What do we do? Did you say hi to your siblings yet? Go say hi to your siblings. Go.
Okay.
Just don't get tackled too hard. You're fine. Doing that whole over-the-shoulder wave of go.
Okay. And Minuet rises and goes to say hi to siblings.
By the way, say hello to the... You know what to say hello to.
I mean, to be fair, this whole series of events has turned out fairly well, all things considered.
Alright, so who actually owns the ship?
I am the registered captain of the ship.
Okay, good. You look like a noblewoman.
I am a noblewoman.
Good. I'm sorry.
I'm also a licensed Skyblotter mercenary.
You scare me. We're gonna stop that subject right now.
Ixodras is now snickering.
I'd be absolutely terrified for my son's life, but Darren is there, so I'm hoping. You didn't take
Look,
too much advice from your grandma, right? Looks
good
right
news
at
is-
Darren.
The good news is I don't tend towards the more destructive fire magics, at least.
Good. Keep it that way. I've met a lot of you guys, and I don't want another ship fire. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's going to happen eventually, but I'm prepared.
Darren just leans on the arm of the chair he's sitting on and rests his chin in one hand, looking at Dirge with that deadpan expression that basically says, I've been doing my best.
He just gives you the knowing nod of yeah. Oh, Minuet is a good boy. Always. By good boy, I mean he learned well from our ancestors, I guess. Oh, maybe too well.
You realize if I look after him much longer, people are going to start thinking we're married, right?
No, for the longest time I thought you two were dating.
You know, sometimes I can still get away with getting people to think we are.
That's going to be hilarious.
He wavers. He goes, as long as he's not wearing that one outfit ever again, we're okay. He doesn't still have that, does he?
You're talking about the one with the silks and stuff?
He nods and goes, oh no.
To be fair, that was useful in keeping him from getting thrown overboard.
And then he says, oh no.
Not in the way you're thinking. I managed to convince the crew when he snuck on, so we didn't have to pay as much for tickets to get away from Waypoint 61. He snuck on in fox form, and I managed to convince the crew that he was Ix's fuckboy.
Oh no, my son's a fuckboy. I mean, I'm okay with it if he makes a good amount of coin, but I don't think he's making a good amount of coin. Please tell me he's at least making a good amount of coin. Don't tell me he's a cheap fuckboy. Please tell me he's not a cheap fuckboy. Looks for the next dress.
Currently, he's a free fuckboy. He hasn't made any money doing it.
To be fair, the ship and everything on it is worth at least 10,000 gold pieces.
He looks between X's dress and the other one goes, oh god, he's doing it for free.
Minuet calls from outside. I thought it was 50,000.
Yeah, it was 50,000.
Well, 50,000 gold pieces and change, whatever.
Then you hear Minuet's mother go, I told you to reinforce the walls so it was warmer in here. And he goes, shit.
I thought it felt perfectly fine.
See, that's what I say, but apparently I wear magical gear, and therefore and then you hear the wife in the kitchen go, you do wear magical gear, everybody else is wearing sweaters, dear. He goes, yes, honey.
See, I'm not wearing any magical gear.
He pauses for a moment, looks over and goes, no, you're not. Oh, that, okay. And then you hear the mom call for dinner. You guys are privileged to the main table, not the children's table. Where all the kids sit. The mother asks probing questions the entire time.
Oh dear.
You know, the slightly awkwardly loving ones. Mainly directed at Minuet, bear in mind, and Darren.
Oh no.
You are served wine all night, by the way, Extress, because you drink and the father's drinking and he wants somebody to get drunk with.
Fair enough.
So if you continue to drink with him, he will continue to serve you alcohol. Happily.
Well, y'all better hope I can pull these fort saves.
Oh dear.
I need the fort saves. Let's see them.
Oh dear.
I'm not playing a paladin this time. I mean, that's fine. My fort save is still as good as my will save right now. Actually,
Yeah,
it's
but
better
that's
than my will
because-
save. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, let's see save number 1.
And failure.
Okay, let's see how
Rolling
bad I...
things in private in person because I have real dice now again. Yes. Go ahead and roll fort save number 2 while I'm doing secret rolls and muting myself while I do so.
That was a 7 in total, and now we're gonna roll the second one. An 8.
What?
And one more for me. Oh boy. Hey,
I
do you want any
sequential
shit-faced-
numbers. I am upset.
What kind of ridiculous shit do you say while drunk?
Probably incredibly disparaging things about my family. Because that's the main point of contention in Ixadras's life.
Ooh. You want to make it up now?
I can't think of anything incredibly awful to say.
How about we take a slight break because I have to make a bathroom run? And you can think
Okay.
of a bunch of things that you can say negative about your family that I can record for later use. Sound good?
Sounds fine.
Thumbs
Yes.
up.
Hey viewers, we're gonna be right back. Hey, we actually got viewers too. Hi viewers.
Hello, welcome to the table, everybody.
Alright.
Okay.
Back to live.
Woo.
Okay. Okay, so, an important question also.
Yes.
Is Minuet actually at the adult table or at the children's table?
You were brought to the adult table because you brought friends, and it'd be inappropriate to leave you at the children's table. It's not really the children's table, it's more like these are all your siblings. So some of your older siblings are still there taking care of the kids. I forget how many siblings you have.
Oh, also, it wasn't addressed as to how vigorously he was tackled when he walked outside.
Oh, the younger ones definitely tackled you to the ground. The older ones would walk up and just be like, "Hey," trying to be
Bowled over is the term you're going for, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna have children attached to you for a very significant amount of time until dinner is
Adorable.
called. Then they move because they know Dad will come out if they don't. And you get asked all the awkward questions, all of them.
Yep.
Do you have a girlfriend? Did you see the world yet? How's I have Mary screams at the top of their lungs at the back of the chicken coop, running around with your chicken in their hands, who looks very perturbed.
Aw.
Chicken is
One
one
of
of
your older
those tiny
siblings just
fluff
plucks the
creatures.
chicken out of the hands and sets it down and goes, "It's not how we handle chickens." But it's adorable! Yeah, it was an experience. I think you have 9 siblings, if I remember correctly.
One for
Oh,
each
you actually
tail.
rolled for it or something?
Yeah.
No, I thought you told me 9 at one point.
No, but that's fine. You can totally go with that.
Note that in your character sheet. I'm gonna need that for later.
Oh dear. Okay,
One child for each possible tail.
I mean, they're in a farming community.
Yes, but the joke of 9-tailed foxes and the even more mythical 10-tailed fox.
He doesn't want more. She might. It depends on when she's getting grandchildren. Looks at Minuet.
Does kind of the panic freeze type thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, dear, when are you gonna have more kids? We're not.
And Darren just slowly sips his wine and looks up at Minuet. No, we are not.
And
Wait,
she goes, "I told you they were dating" at one point, and slaps her husband. He goes, "They're not dating." And he pinches the bridge of his nose.
Wait,
Go
Darren
back
just
to how much,
perks.
like, other people hate each other, please. It's
Wait, Darren.
lethargic.
wait, Darren. Wait.
Exodress is
What?
just giggling.
Dang it, y'all.
He sets down his cup, folds his hands together, and then leans with his elbows on the table towards Minuet. Yes.
But flustered fox sounds.
And Dirge just looks right to Exodress and goes, "So, where are you from?"
Clerksburg.
College students. Yay.
They're very annoying.
Oh, you have no idea. Science students. You ever see that look where somebody looks like they're about ready to slap somebody, but they're not going to?
Yes.
Yep, he's got that look in his face.
Exodress is well acquainted with that face. She sees it on her own very often.
Every time she looks in a mirror.
Because she just generally gets the feeling of, man, I just want to fucking slap somebody whenever someone starts talking to her.
And then he fills your cup and goes, "Okay. You're noble. I want to hear shit."
He wants to what now?
He wants to hear shit. He wants to hear you go off. Noble people are entertaining for one reason and one reason only to him. They got dirt.
Ixodras specifically has a lot of dirt on it, especially on the Van Ostifer family.
He smiles. The first one of those rare smiles that he gives and goes, "Go on. Give me everything."
Ixodras shrugs and starts ranting.
Oh dear.
Your dad's eating it up. Your mother looks very annoyed, Minuet. Because this is not the appropriate way to talk about your parents.
Well, you know, if they hadn't basically left her stranded with no money and forced to continue with her profession and education on her own, maybe she would give a fuck.
I mean,
But she
they wanted
doesn't.
you to marry a nice, rich man.
And be a boring, pussy, spineless, pig sow of an investor just like the rest of them. No.
I mean, you are a pussy, but...
Yes, but not that kind of pussy.
Oh, your dad's... Minuet, your dad is eating it up and continuing to fill her cup the more she rants. Smiling wider and wider. You don't remember your dad smiling this much. Something is making it uncomfortable for you.
He's probably very amused.
Oh, he is. And then eventually, once that one is too intoxicated, he suddenly looks to Darren and fills his cup and goes, "Tell me stories."
Oh, where do you want me to begin?
Oh, anywhere that has anything to do with how stupid rich people are.
Oh. Wait, have I already told you the story about why I got put in clerk position?
I didn't know you were in a clerk position. Minuet never mentioned that in his letters.
Sorry,
wait.
sorry, Dad. Sorry.
Darren starts to swear, and then he glances over at the kitty table and is like, maybe I shouldn't swear.
And the mother
Considering,
clears her throat and goes,
cons-
"Appropriate language, gentlemen. Appropriate language."
It's a bit late for... No, to be fair, I guess Ixodras hasn't really sworn that much. Just used a bunch of flowery language that equates to the noble version of cuss words.
Oh, most of the children don't understand that anyways. You're fine. We're not noble company. If they repeat it, I will slap them.
Good, because I'd stab them. Or I guess bludgeon them.
I mean, and then Darren just, or Dirge is just nodding. Min just goes, "Please, no violence at the dinner table."
There will not be violence, but there may be talk of violence. At least in this few minutes, because I have to explain why I got saddled with clerk duty and was left forgotten to rot at a desk.
Children, go upstairs. You hear the kids all get up and go upstairs. All of them. She goes, "They actually listened for once." And Dirge goes, "Well, they probably heard the kitchen." She goes, "Yeah. I'm not explaining those words, that's your job." And he goes, "Damn it."
I swear, this Ponzi-ass lily-brain dandy decides that, oh no, we don't need double rations or mask filters. Oh heck, we only need just enough for everybody to last the exact amount of time we plan to be out there, because going into the mists is completely predictable. No. We don't need to prepare, do we? What's that? You have concerns? Well, shut the fuck up. I'm only hiring you to be a showpiece because I want to avoid safety measures like the plague.
Sounds like the average noble.
Darren goes on a tirade for like a good 5 minutes.
You know that face where... Actually, no, we're gonna use this face. The face from Soul Eater whenever Excalibur is mentioned.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah, he's
No,
making that
no.
face for the longest time, and he cuts you off about just after that and goes, "No. No. We got a statue in the backyard that you can shout at about that. No. Son, have you gone out back yet? Minuet?
What? What?
Oh,
Sorry.
the statue. You're supposed
Sorry.
to I know it's garbage, but it makes your mother happy. And she smiles. And he goes, go say hi to it. I don't understand it either, but just do it.
Oh.
So, how about we have a few more drinks now that the children are upstairs and go to bed. Bed sounds like a great idea. And you see your mom make a face and he goes, no more children.
Minuet goes out back to what he was talking about to figure out what he was talking about.
There is the statue of a nine-tailed kitsune that looks extremely mischievous, holding the bawu that you own.
Oh. Oh.
You don't know why your mom insists on you talking to it, and everybody talking to it, and everybody talking to it, but it's an old statue she's had through her family for generations. It's a little creepy because it's a little too realistic. It looks like it's playing your bawu. It is holding it differently than you're accustomed to. Because if you hold it differently, it makes that weird buzzing noise.
Minuet tries holding it like he's holding it.
Okay.
Kind of like doing the mirror image of it type thing.
I need you to roll a will save.
Okay. Okay.
Dear fucking lord.
That is a 16.
You swear for a brief moment you hear the sound of the bawu playing, but you know there's nothing here and the wind is going. So you shake it off. But God, it made this... You swear for a moment you heard the buzzing like a humming. Like somebody was humming a song while playing the bawu. But it was only brief, and then you realize the wind is going. It doesn't help that your chicken is right at your legs looking up at you for sweetbread now.
Oh no. Minuet pulls a loaf of bread out of his handy haversack and just gives the whole loaf of bread to the chicken.
And then all the chickens.
Yes.
All of them. Your chicken specifically is trying to run away with the bread. It's not working to its favor. Nope, the particular statue is very small. It's about half your size. It depicts specifically a nine-tailed fox wearing loose-fitting pants with a very tight upper part, or upper shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. That probably got caught by the fucking... That was
A little bit.
Professional as fuck. Yeah, nobody who watches us. Either way, yeah. No, it's a nine-tailed fox. It looks very mischievous. It looks like he's about to do something.
Well, Minuet, while the others are talking and probably continuing to bitch about various things, will tell the statue the story of what has gone on so far with them.
For those of you inside, your Min stands up at one point in time and just kind of wanders outside. You tell the story, and you swear the fox changes poses. He seems to stand a little bit more upright and look a little bit more smug.
Okay.
Are you gonna do anything else?
No, he's gonna go back inside.
The moment you turn around, your mother is standing there smiling. Probably
Hi,
causing
Mom.
a small jump.
Yeah, the kind of, couple feet in the air and then, hi, Mom.
Hi.
Yeah.
He looks... Looks like he understood. Doesn't he?
Oh, hey, Mom. We have a rope dragon that, said something kind of weird
Oh, what's
at
that?
one point about my, Babu.
Oh, did
And-
you, dearie?
He kind of, was asking about quote unquote him. Didn't specify who.
Oh, dearie, did you forget about this little guy that I kept in my backyard this entire time? I know it's behind the chicken coop, but... Really? It hasn't been that long, has it?
It has been a while, but I mean, I'm just quoting what the yeah, there was a rope dragon that asked about stuff.
Oh, well, tell your little rope dragon friend that he's okay and he has yet to pass on his knowledge. And then she turns heel and proceeds to walk away without answering another question.
Wait, what? What? And then Minuet's just standing there, kind of looks at where his mom went, and then back at the statue,
Oh, yeah, the
And then back-
statues change poses again, by the way.
and then back and forth a couple more times.
The statue
And-
looks slightly disappointed, like he's playing angrily now. Even though his physical, actual stature hasn't changed, his facial expressions seem to have. You think it's lighting?
Huh. Hmm.
He's still playing the bow.
Bawu.
For those that are inside the house, Yggdrasil's, or excuse me, Minuet's mother, Min, comes back in the house, sits down, and just makes this very smug face. Like she knows something that nobody else knows, and seems amused by it. Dirge just looks over, goes, "Okay, dear," and then continues listening to everything else going on.
So, Minuet, before he goes back inside, mischievously puts a loaf of bread on the statue's head and then walks away.
Okay. Good to know. You'll have an uneventful night. Morning comes. Surprisingly, they're up at sunrise.
It's not surprising.
It's surprising for you, Ixodras. You are hung the fuck over. You know what the sound of 5 roosters sounds like? It's annoying.
I'm familiar with it, but
You
that's
have no
because I
problem.
live.
You wake up nice and casually. Darren is slightly annoyed. Ixodras, on the other hand,
Murder.
Minuet, once Ixodras begins to awaken, will immediately offer her earplugs.
The look of unrepentant feline murder fades away a little bit. She puts on the earplugs and it rolls right the fuck back over.
good assumption. You are all crammed in one room. Who slept on the bed? Because there's only one, and it's a twin.
Well, it's not Minuet because Minuet was sleeping in fox form.
So it would be Ixodras, because I don't think Darren will fit.
Darren won't fit. He's sleeping on the floor.
You were
But he is
given
awake
ample
now.
blankets. Ixodras goes back to sleep, which leaves Darren and Minuet for the early morning. Anything you
Okay.
two want to do?
I suppose, go down and see what's going on in the house.
Well, obviously your siblings are doing their chores immediately because if they don't, their dad yells.
Uh-huh.
Dad and mother are both taking care of the chickens. Everybody just got up, went to work.
Also, I'm amused in that Ixodras is normally the first one awake, except for today.
The magic of alcohol.
I mean, she woke up, nice and early, and then she went, holy fuck, no, not today.
The roosters went off and you get handed earplugs and you're like, bed is my happy place.
Oh,
Bed or a
also,
killing spree.
Minuet goes to his dad and discreetly offers him earplugs.
Your dad pulls out a set of earplugs to show that he already has them and puts them back in.
Minuet just smiles and kind of does the single finger. Oh, I see.
Pats your head and goes, I did teach you something. By the way, the moment that you step outside, your chicken is following you everywhere, giving you the big eyes.
Aww.
And he pauses and looks over and goes, you spoiled your chicken. And then goes back to
Yeah.
work.
There might have been cinnamon bread one morning.
He can't hear you.
In truth, Vari's been taught nothing because he forgets it instantly.
But, anyways, yeah, so, Minuet sees that if there's anything that he can help with.
Yep, you go about your normal chores. Hey, Darren, what are you doing?
Laying on the floor first, contemplating life choices. Then slowly sitting up and going to get my familiar some food.
There's plenty of general things around, so you're fine. Hey, Minuet, are you going to check the statue?
I sure am.
Hey, guess what's still on top of the statue's head?
Oh.
Yeah, the bread hasn't moved. Even your chicken doesn't seem interested in it. As a matter of fact, they're giving it a birth.
Minuet, takes the loaf of bread back and, like, gently pats it on the head.
The moment you take the bread, the chickens come.
Oh. Wait.
It's like the cuckoos all over again.
Minuet, summarily gives them the bread.
Once again, one chicken is carrying the loaf, the rest are chasing. Including yours.
The chicken
And-
wars.
And
you hear your
Minuet
dad
just,
sigh.
Minuet just, pulls out his babu and begins playing it
Just playing it.
while watching. Trying the pose that the statue has.
Roll a perform.
Okay.
And then roll an intelligence.
Okay. Perform. Fuck.
What'd you roll?
Okay, so that's a 5, or wait, hold on, wait, it's 5, 6, 7 total.
Take my reroll.
Okay. For a perform
Yes.
check to play a song for some chickens.
Yes.
Okay.
Did you roll a 20?
You rolled a 1.
What?
So take the tire of the 2, I guess.
God damn it.
Wait, what did
So,
you roll?
A 1.
Oh.
So, yeah, so 7 total would be the better one. And an intelligence.
I need to... Yep, roll your intelligence.
That's also garbage.
What are
That's
these
a
dice
7.
tonight? These dice
7
need to stop.
total.
What is your intent when you're playing?
Just amusement regarding the chickens running around the yard.
Fantastic, you're doing a terrible job, I'm sorry.
I'm going to write down this note as, alas, but it was early and Minuet cannot play in the morning.
I mean, that's pretty much true. Your half awake ass is trying to alliterate musically and artistically the chickens chasing each other. And all you're getting is doo doo. Fuck. Doo doo.
Or the fucking the meme with the fucking Jurassic Park fucking.
Yep. And
What is-
unfortunately, you got the whole humming sound behind it that's like a kazoo. So you got the doo doo, and you got the.
It just
It
sounds
just
like
sounds
it's fucking
terrible.
deflating.
Damn it.
I'm sorry.
Stop. These dice need to stop.
I mean, it's funny, so I'll take it.
Damn it. But I like at least having rolls that are greater than a single digit.
But this is funny to me,
Yeah.
and I'm the only one that
Yep.
counts here, right?
Right.
But anyways, Minuet gives up after a little bit and is like, well, shit. And just
Alright.
looks back at the statue.
Yeah, the statue looks like it's in pain. You know that face that you make when something hurts your ears, but you're trying to hide it? Yeah, that face.
Oh.
Got so far and tried so hard, but in the end, learned to play. Morning goes uneventfully. You will be served eggs for breakfast. And when I say you're served eggs for breakfast, you're asked how many eggs you'd like, because they got a lot.
Uh-huh.
And it is
Um.
only eggs.
I mean, I'm down for some scrambled eggs.
Your mother makes a ridiculous quantity of scrambled eggs. Some days you question how she does it, but she does. She always does it with a smile on her face.
Oh.
When do you guys
Anyways,
leave?
I suppose we ought to leave relatively soonish because we do have time. But yeah, I gather we should probably at least say our goodbyes and whatever else, and that we have a ship to tend to and stuff.
Weren't we also going to visit Darren's family?
Yes, that too.
Fantastic. Hey, Darren, you gotta bring your friends to your mother or your parents' house, right?
Yep.
You know they live a little bit south of town, about 20 minutes or 10 minutes or so walking until you get there. And there is the traditional style draconic home with the engravings of the axe very delicately added. You know, your grandfather and grandmother spent a lot of time adding those particular carvings.
Oh, also, I gather it is implied that Minuet does get Mary back in one piece.
Oh
Hopefully.
yes. You have to go grab her because she's angry at some of the other chickens.
Oh dear.
But you get her. It's fine.
Okay.
She doesn't like sharing her food, and she's angry.
Oh.
She's a solo chicken. She's spoiled.
Yes.
So you get up to your house. This is actually more of a Nordic style home with the carvings on it. It's actually relatively delicate done and looks like something that you would expect Ix from a noble household, surprisingly. Then again, Dragonkin, they always go all the way, even when they're poor. Floor is yours, Darren.
Sorry, I'm doing a note because detail. Darren's going to walk up and knock on the door 3 times.
You're pretty sure you hear the heavy style footsteps of your dad, but the door opens rather suddenly with your grandma standing there smiling wide as she always does and goes, "I can always beat my son. Darren!" And opens her arms wide.
Grandma!
And she
And
hugs
Darren-
you awkwardly tight for a grandmother. And then she goes, she looks directly over at Minuet, opens an arm and goes, "Minuet!" Then she uses her tail to shove you forward into her hug. And then she goes, "Person I don't know." Looks up at,
This is Ixaddress.
pushes you to his side, walks right up to Ixaddress, puts her hands on her hips. And she goes, "Ixaddress?" And then she offers a hug. "Ixaddress!" Oh, sad.
Viv, are you there?
Yeah, did you not hear me?
No?
No.
Oh,
What'd you say?
don't worry about it. It wasn't
Aw.
anything particularly important.
Dang it.
She turns heel and then goes, "Your dad's mad at me." And then pushes Darren inside and Minuet inside and then proceeds to go, "Come on, what's your name?"
Ixaddress.
Ixaddress. What a wonderful name. Get inside. Get inside before my son gets all pissy at me about something. Come on. I will make muffins. I think I can still make those.
Oh dear.
It's okay.
Oh, Dad would have a field day here.
Your dad's like halfway to the door and he just has this look on his face. Like, again. And goes, "Darren."
Good morning, Dad.
Aye. Kitchen's open, and then he goes and sits down. "By the way, you haven't written."
I haven't had the chance.
Uh-huh. He's actually relatively well built. "Go say hello to your mother. Men.
Hi.
Men.
No, that's my mom.
I don't remember your name. I'm sorry. You haven't been here for years.
Minuet.
Minuet. Yeah. Hi.
Are any of my siblings home?
Yeah, they're upstairs. You know. I just barely got up not too long ago. We'll go out doing our thing in a bit. Hey, son. Welcome home. I'm sorry. I'm tired.
Don't worry about it. You know I don't mind.
Yeah.
Darren goes to head upstairs so he can greet his mother and siblings, leaving the rest of the Lunar Nimbus crew down to deal with his energetic grandmother and tired dad.
What are you guys doing immediately?
I don't know.
Minuet, looks around for a place to have a seat and inquires, "May I have a seat?"
You hear your father go, "Yeah, go ahead." And there's several chairs around. You guys can have a seat. His grandmother surprisingly is going right to the kitchen. She's whistling the tune.
But, yeah, Minuet, begins, kind of the whole, "I'm sorry, we were going to be here a couple days ago, but, complications."
He holds up a hand and goes, "It's okay, it's okay. I know how all this stuff goes. You remember I'm not from here, right?"
Yeah.
I hate this
But-
train.
But, yeah, we were in Clarksburg for a little bit, and some other places and stuff.
Oh, Clarksburg sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not that bad. We got some things there.
Well, that's good at least. At least they become a little bit more useful than a college town. Traveling with, points towards the kitchen with his thumb. And
Well,
then he
I
shakes
mean-
his head.
I mean, I like traveling with Darren. He's... Yeah.
No, I don't mean Darren. I mean my mother.
Oh, okay. Oh.
That woman never settles down. Settles back. Then a married one that never settles down. Don't marry your mother.
Well, my mom's kind of one of a kind, so... Yeah.
Oh, she's nice. Don't bash on her. My mother's nice too. And then you hear from
mean-
the kitchen,
I
"Thank
mean,
you,
that-
dearie. You better compliment me." And he goes,
I mean,
"Yeah."
that wasn't a bash. She's... I'm just saying, there's nobody like her. That whole thing.
That's a good thing. You hear, "I heard that," and he goes, "How?" Don't marry a dragon, Ken. We don't die. And she goes, "What?" From the kitchen, he goes, "We don't die." And she goes, "Yeah, we don't die."
So, I didn't actually think to get y'all presents. I got my family presents.
Don't be giving us presents. We got enough junk
But-
thanks to Mom.
Considering where you live and what's just down the road over there. Here, have some of these. And Minuet offers a set of earplugs.
He looks at them and he takes them and puts them in his pocket. And then you hear the mother from the other room go, "I heard that." He goes, "Damn it. Can't you live on your own?" She goes, "I do. I just come over at 7 a.m. to make sure you guys have breakfast and your wife appreciates it." And he goes, "Damn it."
Anyways, so how have y'all been?
Yeah, trying to deal with the problems in the area as always.
Problems?
Predators attacking the town. Nobody's lost any chickens, but there was a couple lambs in a couple of towns over that were lost. We're trying to deal with that right now.
Oh dear.
It sucks because, they're wildlife and we want to preserve them and all, but keeping them out in the wilds is a problem with the other things out there, and...
Interested eyebrow quirk.
You know what we do in this household, right? You hear Grandma shout, "Bring down the axe!" And he sighs.
Wait. What?
We're hunters here.
Oh, okay.
Ignore my mother. Don't ignore me! Ignore her. Please.
Okay.
By the way, hey, Kai.
Yes.
Dara makes it up, your mother drops the book, runs up and hugs you.
Hi, Mom.
You didn't write, I was so worried about you. You didn't write recently, and I was so worried that you were in trouble or in danger and everything else, and you take too much after your grandmother shakes you. Stop that! And then hugs you again. Would you write more often?
I would have, but I didn't exactly have... Okay, that would be a lie if I said I didn't have the time. I just didn't think about it. There's a lot that's gone on. May I breathe now?
No, shakes you harder. You must tell me what's keeping you around. I don't want you dead. Write me more often, damn it. Stomps.
I would be able to use a sending stone if the Rangers Guild had just given me the commission I was due, but
She
I'm not going to
crosses
go
her
into
arms
that
and goes,
again.
whose fault was that?
As I was saying, I'm not going to go into that again.
Good, now give me a hug. And then she hugs you again. My baby
There-
boy is back home.
Minuet announces from the other room. So we've got stories. You should totally come have a seat.
Oh, if I
And-
could pick you up, I would. And then she pats her back and goes, go, go, go. And she pushes you a little bit.
Minuet sighs and heads back down. It's like, just gives Minuet a look. It's like, oh no, you mentioned stories.
So, time out. We're going to take a briefer pause because we need to address the whole sleeping situation that some people have. Burb.
Oh dear.
Hog stuff it.
Alright, gents and ladies and whatnots. We're going to end here. So, once again, hey, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe below. If you're on Twitch here, please hit the follow button. It really, really, really helps out. And otherwise, hey, you all drink more water, take care of yourselves, feel better about yourselves, and have a good night.
We